What's good? What's popping? How y'all feeling, man? I try to get it going. Now we got it going. It's Tuesday morning. We in the kitchen for the cook up. Y'all know how we get down, man. One thing for sure, two things for certain. Me and my boys always ready to get in the kitchen and cook something up for y'all. So, welcome, man. Been a minute. Ain't been up in here probably consistently the last couple of weeks, but we hit. That's all that matters, you know. Hopefully you missed this. Hopefully you stay subscribed and you got them notifications cracking so you don't miss us, man. But me and T-Rock, we back in the kitchen on this good old Tuesday morning. Rock, you're looking cool, brother. How you feeling? How you doing? And what's cooking? Good looking.
Well, that's so nice of you to say. I'm feeling pretty good. I came in right at 10 a.m. Maybe it was 9:59. Sorry about that, guys. I was having to take a poop and make sure I shaved and everything else. So got my walk in this morning. I am feeling good and ready to go, Fizz.
There we go. There we go. Let's like to hear that, brother. Well, today is the day for training camp. We're going to debate. We're going to talk. We're going to agree. We're going to disagree. We're going to break down our favorites, our hates. We got a lot in session for today, man. And I really sat back and I said, man, I said, all right, let me come up with a couple of these graphics, right? 5, 6, 7. But Rock, the more I started thinking about these rooms, the more I said, man, we can't just skim through this. We can't roll through. We got to get to business. We got to get.
It's going to be like a 3-hour marathon show, Fizz. We're going to figure everything out today for people's drafts to this upcoming season.
I don't want to put a cap on the cap, you know. So we glad that y'all here though, man. We glad everything is good. Hopefully everybody is having a good morning. Hopefully we bring you extra peace on your good morning. And it wouldn't be right if we ain't start the show how we supposed to, big dog. So Rock, without further ado, let's remind the people why we here, why they here, and let's get it cracking, man.
Hey, they wrote me off, I ain't write them back. Nah. Follow me, but don't double tap. I ain't liking that. You subscribe, I monetize. Now who's striking that? Wanna see the contract? Who got the rights to that? This my story, I spent my whole life on that. Time's up. Shador Sanders with the rollie in the armor. I could do this shit with my eyes closed. The main attraction don't come at me with no side show. I'm selling high, they wanna buy low.
I'm not gonna lie, Rock, man. When I hear that, man, I get hype again, man. What's good? What's popping, baby? We back. We are in the building once again, man. Your boy feeling good. You know what I'm saying? It's another Tuesday morning, like I said earlier. But training camp time, baby. Training camp time. Your favorite team, the teams you hate, the teams you love to hate. We're gonna try to debate all of them, man, or at least give you the most important things for us, the ones that we want to look at, the ones we're looking forward to, and the ones that we probably won't figure out because there's just too much talent in that particular room. So before we get too far ahead, Rock, man, first of all, what you got cooking up over there, man? What you thinking about? What's your favorite position? What's your team? What you thinking about before we get into the debate today of what's going on around this training camp talk, brother?
The only thing I will say about today's show and why I'm particularly excited about it, for all the different positions and battles that we're going to be going through today, Fizz, these are the ones that we are willing to put our money on. These are the ones when it comes to this player or that player, who we are drafting in these upcoming drafts for this upcoming season, whether it's underdog, whether it's your last minute dynasty leagues, whether it's your redraft leagues. I don't particularly have one particular battle that I'm looking forward to. There is just a lot that's just up in the air. So not one single one really stuck out to me, Fizz. What about you?
I won't say one in particular, but there are definitely a few. Like this Broncos backfield, man. I love me some J.K. Dobbins, man. Once he got signed, it hurt my heart because it was like, damn, I wanted R.J. Harvey to just have the clear path to success. And not that he still can't, but that boy J.K. ain't come over there, man, to play no games, man. Other than the injury bugs, he's proven every time he touched the field that he's a problem. So that one definitely, and my favorite position, man, this receiving game, man. We got Green Bay, we got Carolina, we got the Chiefs, we got go down the list, man. The Tampa Bay Bucks, like every room.
Chicago's another.
You got Denver. I mean, it's receivers galore, man. You know what I'm saying?
Let's not give away too many of the
Okay,
secrets
my
that we
bad.
got with the show. Maybe we should holler at the people in the comments, give them some love.
That's it. Yeah. I don't want to give away too much, man. But I was trying to wait for more of them to come through. But it's all good. They here. The ones that show up is the ones we're gonna blow up, baby. So let's see what's good. My boy Patty Mills said, "What's good? Good morning." Good morning, my boy, man. How you feeling? He want to hear about some dart propaganda, man. We gonna give you all the darts you need today, my boy. Jake pre-gaming as always. My boy Connor up in here. Terminal said, "Let's get it." You know how we do a terminal, man. Far as the chat go, man, who y'all looking forward to, man? I know Patty said he looking forward to some Jackson Dart. I'm sure Jake want to know what we think about his Carolina Panthers. So that's a good one, man. Hopefully he got a little bit of insight. He ain't gave us no news yet, Rock. Hopefully, man, you know, he down there in the training camp. Let me know what's good. Jake, who should I be putting my money on DraftKings on the overs and unders, man? You got to be the one. You know, you ain't under
tell
contract.
us about Hunter Renfro. That's who he's going to be telling us about, Fizz.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. He exactly right. I'm saying it ain't like he under contract, so he should be able to gamble. So I'm saying, Jake, you should have the inside scoop, man. Help your boy out, man. You know. But yeah, Rock. I'm gonna ask you this, man. Since we got probably a long show to get to and a lot of debate and a lot of different teams and players, you let me know which position you want to touch on first, or which how you want to kick it off, bro. I'm gonna let you kick it off because you the one that you gave me whole list.
You spent all this time on your graphics. We can go through all the ones that you have graphics on, and if there's a position or a battle that I feel like we didn't get to. No. I'm going to sit down and enjoy the meal that you have prepared today.
Okay. So. All right, brother. I like to hear that, man. Well, I will say, and not only this, though, we got at least, a week or two of this. Like, we can come back and rehash and regroup and see what
this is a one-time show, Fizz. We can't. We got to figure everything out today. So.
Okay. All right. My bad then. Well, let's just get it started then, my man. Let's get it started. I just talked about it, just spoke on it. Without further ado, man, let's get it cracking, man. J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, Rock. Again, I just spoke about it earlier. These are two guys I love. Coming into this draft, I'm not going to act like I was the biggest R.J. Harvey fan. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't walking around like, that's my guy, I need him. But me and you, always pumping up coaching and talking about Sean Payton and knowing that if he gets a guy, he's going to do whatever it takes to make that guy look like that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I know I said guy, triple on terms of three-peat, all that good stuff. But I'm just saying some people thought that this was a reach when they took RJ Harvey, right? They took him higher than a lot of other guys that went after him. And I just look at Sean Payton as anybody that does a move like this, it's a reason behind it. So when they took him, I was high on him. I had him probably as my RB3 in the draft process because of, for fantasy, let's just say this, for fantasy, because I think immediate impact and Sean Payton just being able to put him in a position that, you know, having Estimate and McLaughlin behind him, man, it was no threat. But when they paid J.K. Dobbins, I believe $5 or $6 million guaranteed, that kind of opened the door to maybe they don't want RJ to just come out the gate and just get 1,000, 1,200, 30. Like, you know, we're going to slow this process down. You're still a rookie now. No matter how much we love what you might bring, we still want to win this division and not hang our hat on a rookie to do it, especially when he's not Bijan, Gibbs, one of these guys. So J.K. Dobbins being in the building, I think is a great thing for our Harvey, though, because it helps him grow. It helps him learn, gets him through the process. And again, he doesn't feel like, man, I don't have no help. You know what I'm saying? I got to Estimate and a McLaughlin here, bro. The team is betting on me to get this first down and get this extra touchdown, this extra yard. So I look at it as a great thing for the position. I just don't know if for fantasy purposes, you know, this is the game we love to play, how much it actually hurts or helps each other with JK and Harvey. So, Rock, I see you over there typing, you're researching, you're Googling, you're chat GPTing. First of all, they number 37 and 27. So I think that's cool. You know, be side to side, rocking like that. But what's your take, man, on Harvey and Dobbins? Where we at with it right now, Rock?
Well, I'm actually pretty for the move, first and foremost, because in the modern NFL today, there's very few backfields fits where you can just have one guy. Like, not even with Bijan Robinson, he has Tyler Algier behind him. And also, too, with us both liking J.K. Dobbins, I'm glad that he went to the situation he did.
Yep.
He's got an up-and-coming QB. He's got a fantastic head coach where we've seen what he can do with those backfields. Remember the days of Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. And that only lasted for a short while. I think that was only during Alvin Kamara's, rookie season. Then after his rookie season, it was the Alvin Kamara show. And it is today in New Orleans. So I absolutely love J.K. Dobbins coming out of Baltimore, Ohio State. He was one of my favorite running backs. But the thing is, though, with J.K. Dobbins and why I'm not too worried about him eating too much into R.J. Harvey for the entire season is unfortunately what we know about J.K. Dobbins with his injury history. I think he's only had one season, Fizz, where he's been able to stay healthy for an idiot. So, Jake, like what you were saying earlier, R.J. Harvey, he was a top 5 RB prospect for me before the draft even started. Now he's at RB4 for me.
Okay.
I was high on R.J. Harvey, and then I kind of lowered him down. No one was talking about him. He's only 5'8". There's not many running backs that are at that height that have really good seasons in the NFL, Fizz. It's kind of certain thresholds that you have to go through. But I love his skill set. I love him as a pass catching weapon. So maybe we don't see with R.J. Harvey a huge workload in the beginning of the season. But with what I said earlier, if J.K. Dobbins can't stay healthy, there's really no one else outside of Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin that is going to be able to take carries away from this backfield. So I think it actually works out for the best. It's not all on R.J. Harvey right out the gate as a rookie, learning the scheme, learning everything that Sean Payton wants from him as a rusher. And he's just a perfect complement for him. So with where J.K. Dobbins is going later in drafts, he could be actually a huge value. But with the game that we play in Dynasty, we shouldn't move R.J. Harvey whatsoever.
I'm with you. And I say this, right? When we saying moving, and I get to the next thing, I'll say this. I actually moved them behind a Caleb Johnson. Now, I had them Harvey before him, it was no question about it. So when you say we shouldn't move him, what do you think about a move like that? Where if you had Harvey over Caleb during the draft process, doing the draft, the rookie drafts and all that, but you just say, you know what, I'm gonna take Caleb over our Harvey in this situation. Do you think that's a big move, or is that
it's a smart move? And the reason why it is because only behind, I'm actually giving a little bit of a sneak peek. This article I've been writing for forever. I still haven't come out with it yet. I have all these good pieces of information. Fizz, do you know who is only behind Ashton Genty as far as rushing yards as a bet according to Vegas?
You said behind.
That wrong. Behind Ashton Genty. Who is projected to have the most rushing yards next year?
As far as rookies or?
Yeah, rookie RBs.
Caleb. It should be Caleb. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, Rob. I didn't even look that up, but just knowing Arthur Smith's offense, seeing what Najee did. I keep saying this: Najee had 1,000 yards every single season, and we don't even like him as a running back. So you think a guy that we actually like is gonna do worse? No.
Yeah. So I think that is going to change depending on what's going to happen with Najee Harris's situation. It does not look very good. So I think now Amari Hampton is going to definitely move really high up as far as those rushing totals go for the 2025 season. So I think those 3 RBs are kind of in a class of their own, but we don't know we know that the receiving from R.J. Harvey can make up for a lot with the lack of rushing. We just have no idea what it's going to look like in that scheme. So I want to be, I would 50-50 it. I would split if I have 2 different drafts and I have one with R.J. Harvey and one with Caleb Johnson. I think that's the way to go. I think both of them are ultra talented RBs, and the only other RB that I have right after R.J. Harvey with my prospect rating is Caleb Johnson. So I think those 2 guys are expected to absolutely go off in 2025. But with J.K. Dobbins, though, when I look at where he's going at in drafts, I think he's still a huge value. So especially if he can have those weeks where he just looks like the better RB. He's the more efficient guy. So, yeah, he's going to have his weeks, man. I think it's just going to go back and forth. But like I said, I haven't seen Dobbins play a full season, Fizz.
Yeah.
So I think this is a backfield that you want. You want either of these guys at the end of the day.
But again, like I said, when you said dropping them or bringing them back, I think Caleb and RJ is like a great comparison. And I like what you said. Half and half, right? You can't go wrong either way. But the best thing I think you said was the Alvin Kamara and Ingram. Because if, let's just say this year, Caleb does get the 1,000 yards and he does look like the Najee Harris replacement, but RJ doesn't because JK is there, that doesn't mean next year he gets that Alvin Kamara season where it's all his. JK is only on a 1-year deal, right? Now, You've already established yourself in the offense. Sean Payton trusts you. He knows where to put you in position to win. So I'm just saying that to say, if Harvey doesn't give us a Caleb Johnson season this year, that doesn't mean next year he won't surpass him at some point, kind of like Kamara did. So see, we got some new people up in the chat, man, tapping in. My boy Flock, man, shout out Flock, man. He hit me up yesterday and gave us a shout out, man. Said he liked when, how me and T-Rock broke some things down. And, he's here to stay pretty much, man. So shout out to your Flock. I don't know if you said that because Rock is a Ravens fan and I like Lamar. I don't know, brother, but I appreciate you anyway. We appreciate
Take it either way. Exactly.
100%. And I actually saw this one, man. Connor, I don't know. I don't know, brother. I don't think it's a hard question. I would give up a 25 first for Travis Hunter. So I don't know why a 26 would be something that I would have to debate. So if you have that opportunity, bro,
he's going top 3 in drafts this year. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would
exactly.
give up a 25 first right now for I would do that 100%, bro.
I don't know who would take that deal though.
Yes, that's crazy work.
It's like, could I have Travis Hunter now, or should I have maybe next year's generational wide receiver that's coming out? Oh, wait, there isn't one. There's no wide receiver that comes even close to who Travis Hunter is as a prospect that's coming out. Take a look at Todd McShay. He just broke down the wide receivers for the 2026 class. There's some freaks in there. There's some guys that are like DK Metcalf size that can run like he can. Mm-hmm. One of these guys he compared to a draft. He's like, can you imagine a draft running at 4.3 speeds? I'm like, no, I can't. He's like, these are the types of guys that are coming out next year. So they're freaks. Ain't none of them Travis Hunter, though. Travis Hunter is a generational prospect. So if you have the chance to get him right now.
Ain't none of them like Rick James. All right. Super freak Travis Hunter is in the building, baby. All right. We got my boy Voorhees. What's popping? What's good, man? I know John Smith said JK the glass, man. Listen, bro. He is a little bit made of glass, but I will say this. If he has a RJ Harvey, maybe the glass don't get used as much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you get to put it in the cupboard at the top, man, a little bit and let it rest, brother. So hopefully JK can stay healthy, man. All right. Don't put no bad juju voodoo on my boy. All right. Can't have it.
Did your folks have a china cabinet like my folks did? Or you had these special pieces of glass and plates where it's like, no, you can't even go into the room. You can't even look at it. It's like the Ark of the Covenant, man. If you just even touch it, you fall down dead, man.
And you know what's so funny? When they get grandkids, they can care less about the glass, brother. They put you through hell your whole life. Don't touch it. Don't do this. Then when the grandkids come, they break it. Oh, it's okay. I would have lost my life for that 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 20 years ago. But all right, cool. I get it. I feel it. Speaking of that, what's up, moms? We appreciate you tapping in.
That's why I brought it up.
Hope you got them glasses shined up for your grandkids to break next week. All right, we appreciate it.
Yeah, there's that one dining room that you only used for like maybe one time a year, and that was it. But no other time you could go in there.
Yeah, for sure. What up, Big E? How you feeling, man? And E Will had a question about the Broncos. He said, with the added RB depth, does this help open up the receivers here for Sutton, Bryant, Feasting like JK? Why I just say this, E Will? We're going to get to that part, brother. You got to stay tapped in, man. We're going to get to it. I'm glad you asked that question, though. We will be getting to the Broncos receiving room at some point today, brother. We got a lot of things on the menu. This is one of what's those restaurants, Rock, when you come in, you sit down, they got a whole bunch of food, you try your sample, then they go to the next thing. What's that? Fogo de Chao, whatever they be doing.
Well, you can there is Brazilian steakhouses where you have basically a block and it's green on one side and it's red on the other. And you have it green, that means, Fizz, they will keep bringing you out food.
Exactly.
No matter, you have to turn it to red to be like, stop. I'm going to eat this food that I got first.
I got you.
Then you turn it on its side for when you want the check.
So that's what
those Brazilian steakhouses. That's exactly it.
Today is a Brazilian steakhouse. All right, that's what we got for you. And yeah, man. Well, I feel like we kind of on the same page with this Broncos backfield, man.
I want to put a bow on this with the J.K. Dobbins R.J. Harvey discussion. Okay. J.K. Dobbins right now is going as the RB50 in startups, Fizz. Who would you rather have between J.K. Dobbins and Isaac Rendo's RB49?
Man, I mean, I'm a little biased, bro. I love me some JK, man. That's tough, though. I say this. We talking Dynasty, right? We're talking Dynasty.
Yeah. So the guys that are going ahead of him, Devin Neal is going ahead of Dobbins. Braylon Allen is going ahead of Dobbins. Dylan Sampson, our dude Jordan Mason, Rashad White, Tank Bigsby. All those guys are going ahead of him. So
Rashad White, definitely not. I'm not taking over Dobbins. And Jordan Mason, I would, disrespectfully. We love some Jordan Mason.
Yeah, we do.
But it'll be a tough conversation with Garendo. And not because I think Garendo is the better player this year, but if anything happens to CMC and an injury pops up, Garendo could be on a Jordan Mason path like last year. So
Jaden Blue is going ahead of J.K. Dobbins.
No. Come on, Rock. Man, my favorite color is blue. I got the Cowboys rocking. I'm rocking the Cowboys right now, but I ain't rocking with blue. All right, we gonna move on. I'm holding it down. No more training camp discussions. I'm rocking the Zeke today to remind y'all who the clear RB1 is, baby. All right, that's how.
I'm rocking the Express. So there we go.
Nah, for real. So
that was a good way to kick things off. We want both of these guys. For both of them.
For real. That was a good one. And to be honest, again, if you got an opportunity to get him, because I know Flock is asking. Let's just go ahead and answer. He said he currently in a rookie draft. What's the most you would pay for Harvey? So when you say the most you would pay, does that mean how high would you draft him? Or because he says he's currently in a rookie draft. So 101, 102, 103, 104, no. When it gets to 5, 6, 7, 8, Rock, you got your Henderson, you got your Ted McMillans. I probably would take both of those guys over them. And then it's Dart. I mean, I probably would take Dart. It depends. Henderson and Dart is kind of close to me, man, to be honest. But let's just say 107 to 110, right? 107 to 110. Where you at with it? Who's that order after Dart, Henderson, Ted, Travis, Cam?
I have Travion at 105, Tet 106, Emeka Ibuka at 107. Okay. I have Dart at 108, and then it's a discussion. RJ Harvey, Caleb Johnson, 109, 110. So if you have a share of RJ Harvey and you don't have one of Caleb, go Caleb. If you already have one of Caleb and you don't have one of Harvey, go with Harvey. So
he said he can get him at the 110 for a trade. I would do that. 100%. I'm if I can get him at the 110, and if you can, I don't know if you have the 110 and you trading for him, but if you can, go get him at the 110, bro. That's a good price to pay.
Yeah, I would also see if any of those players are still on the board and you can get them without the trade, Flock, then go for that too. The only thing I would hate to happen is all those guys go ahead of me and I'm stuck with having to decide between Judkins and Golden, which is a huge drop-off. Yeah, I would rather go with maybe a Warren or a Loveland. But yeah, there's a huge drop-off, I think, after Caleb Johnson. So
Yep. So Caleb, Harvey, you can get that 110 popping, brother. Go ahead and get it cracking, Flock. So appreciate the question, man. Appreciate the question. Rock, we're gonna go to another. Let's keep it orange, man. Let's keep it orange. Let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it tender. Let's keep it Brazilian. Let's go over here to the brown and orange, baby. Cleveland Browns QB room. We got Flacco. We got Shador. I know the time's up. I don't got the rollie on, man, but Rock, man, 15 and 12, man. We got the old head. We got the young guy. I mean, I didn't want to put Kenny Pickett in here. That felt kind of wild to even try to make a graphic for this guy. And unfortunately, Dylan Gabriel, who we weren't high on anyway, but he's still in the building, right? It's a possibility. Anything can happen. But we believe, well, at least I believe, I'm sure you're on the same page, that these are the two QBs. If we had to say we're really in a debate, or, I mean, Flacco is the clear QB1, of course. But going into this.
Is he?
Well, okay, all right, my bad. Well, I say this on paper right now, he's the clear QB1, but going through training camp, going through preseason, going through injuries in week 1, and long story short, out of all 7 quarterbacks they have in this room, these are the 2, right? So, what's your debate, man? I know you weren't high on Shador coming out. I know he slid to the 5th round, and all this madness happened. What's your debate, man, on this QB corral right here, and how long does Flacco have the hold on this QB1 position, bro?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to acknowledge a stat that I've brought up throughout the entire summer, which is there's no other franchise that has started more QBs than the Cleveland Browns. They've started 40 since 1996, Fizz. After them, I think it's like the Raiders at like 34. So they have a little bit of a lead when it comes to starting QBs. Mm-hmm. The real question is, do they retain 4 QBs, which would be absolutely unheard of?
That's a good question.
When it comes to an NFL franchise to have that many QBs, if anyone could do it, it would be the Browns. I think it was EV and Adam on AMA. They brought up a really good thing, which is how many 3rd round players have been cut before training camp. Mm-hmm. And there's only been one time. The last time was it was the Raiders. And that was like in 2000s. It was the same draft class as Jamarcus Russell. And the reason why I'm bringing up 3rd rounders, Fizz, is because of Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel was the guy that was taken ahead of Shador Sanders. I thought it was a huge reach.
It was.
Which is kind of funny to say about a guy that – did you see that picture of Bo Nix and Justin Herbert when he took with Dillon Gabriel? It was a tough-looking picture.
That one, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty tough looking. There's not many QBs, Fizz, that go into the NFL at his height and have success. So I'm not really holding out hope for Dillon Gabriel, but despite what I think of him as a prospect, what I think of his height, he's probably going to be safe because he's a 3rd round investment. So when I look at Joe Flacco from last year, his PFF passing grade, he was ranked 33rd in the NFL last year. Did not have the greatest season with the Colts. The Colts are kind of a shit show, Fizz, though, when it comes to just that whole situation last year. Yep. I'm trying to look at some of his stats from last year. So he had a game. It actually wasn't that bad. So against Pittsburgh, he had 2 touchdowns. Against Jacksonville, he had 3 touchdowns. He played pretty decently. His worst game, Fizz, was against Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo is one of the best teams in the NFL. Yeah. He threw 3 picks against Buffalo. But outside of that, he kept the ball, safe and didn't turn the ball over too many times on a terrible Indianapolis offense. So if I had to make the bet, I love Joe Flacco, Super Bowl winner for the Baltimore Ravens. And that was the best we've seen of him. He was one of the best QBs we've ever seen in a Browns uniform, Fizz. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago.
Crazy how things changed, man, because 2 years ago, coming out of retirement, he just poof, But I always say this, Rock, and I believe even with an older quarterback like Joe Flacco, when you come into the season as not necessarily a starter, but you're on the roster in a sense, and you get thrown into the game, it's not the same as when it happens in late in the season, right? And then poof, because you basically are the spark of this team. So when Flacco did it 2 years ago, he was the spark of the team. He came out of nowhere. They signed him off the street, and he almost took these guys to the AFC championship game, like out of nowhere, right? But when you actually come into the season on the roster with expectations that, hey, if A-Rich don't work out, we need you, things change, man. And I think just being in the locker room, a guy like Joe Flacco has been around long enough to know, like, what a good locker room is and what one isn't, right? And I think maybe he got a little bit of that stink of that locker room put on him last year, and he just did the best he could do. But if you look at that Cleveland Browns team 2 years ago, it wasn't even that much better than that Colts team last year. The difference was, I think he came in with no expectations, and it was just a spark that they needed. So I kind of just discount that last year with him, is what I'm trying to say, because he was already in a bad situation to begin with. And it wasn't a spark because I'm already melting with the rest of these candles in this building. So I kind of just dismissed last year, man. I mean, he had a couple of big plays with Alec Pierce. He definitely made some big Josh Downs. He brought him out of the dead, and we kind of gave up on him. So he did his thing, but I just kind of give him a alt year last year, man. We ain't gonna fault him for that one.
Yeah, and I think going back to some of the work that we've already done, like projected wins, one thing I'm trying to look up right now is projected points by Vegas, Fizz. We know that the Cleveland Browns are in the basement of the NFL when it comes to projected wins. That is not a good recipe for it. They might have lost what could have been their best offensive playmaker for a few weeks of the season, depending on what happens with Quinshon Judkins. That doesn't look good. The defense took a huge step back last year. Hopefully they're a lot better this year. But a lot of that with them taking a step back last year is the offense was so bad that it had a huge cascading effect on the offense. And the offense also, like the defense also being bad, had a huge cascading effect on the offense. So they work together. So if one's bad, it's going to affect the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I say that all to say there is no other player that's going in drafts right now, Fizz, that's a starting QB that's cheaper than Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
He is going to get you some solid weeks. Now, I think of all the QBs that are in this room, he's the one to go with. And that's only because even though they traded a draft pick for Kenny Pickett, someone brought up that I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I should know the GM's name for the Cleveland Browns. I just can't think of it right now. He comes from the Philadelphia Eagles. And one of the things that they like to do in Philadelphia is draft QBs, develop them, and trade them. So he is taking a page out of their book. And that's, I think, the reason why they have 4 QBs is the idea of not necessarily starting all of them, which they probably will, but to eventually flip them for draft picks later on.
Okay.
So that's one thing just to keep in mind when it comes to why maybe they have 4 QBs in their roster is, I think, what is it? Is it Andrew Berry? Is that his name?
Andrew Berry. I know that name, but I don't know if he's with the Browns though, bro. Keep
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna lie, Rock. It's not much I know about the Browns right now.
It is Andrew Berry. Hell yeah. I shouldn't have doubted myself. But yeah, so there is that going on in the background. Shador Sanders, you have him on the graphic. And what I keep hearing, so I know it's like it's bullshit season, Fizz, but his roster spot isn't even guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep hearing too many different things, Fizz, where it's like, oh, he looks so good in camp. And then other times it's like, he looks like the worst one. I can't find a good, discerning, just way to be able to read the situation. So
I think there's people just throwing shit on the wall and seeing what fly to it, brother. I think that's literally what it is. I don't even take nothing that's been talked about for real. Like we talked about the other week, the man was caught speeding, and it was the biggest news that the break of the internet. Oh my God, this guy, he's 20 years old driving a car, he's speeding. Like, oh, come on, man. So I don't believe anything that's going on right now as far as the news go, Rock.
Fizz, the Cleveland Browns by Vegas are projected at the very bottom, 32nd at 17.7 points per game.
Yeah, I mean, I could believe it. I'm not even going to debate it. Like, I believe it, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not even going to debate that one, Rock. And honestly, I mean, I know his name isn't ringing, man, but can we get Amari Cooper there or something? Can we just get something going on? Jerry Jeudy is like the only. I mean, I haven't heard anything to try to progress this offense and make it put more than 17 points up. So, I don't even know if this is really a debate, but it's definitely a conversation because I do believe. Let's just say in the preseason, Rob, before we close out on this, if in the preseason, let's think it's 3 games now. Let's say they Flacco doesn't play, he's the vet, and Shador actually goes out there with this, QB1. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask you this: who you think is the QB1 if Flacco doesn't play? Who goes in as QB1 in the preseason?
If Flacco's not playing, Kenny Pickett.
Okay. Right,
just because he has the prior experience he has the leg up, and they traded a draft pick for him. I mean, I think before they got Flacco, they were expecting Kenny Pickett to maybe be the starter.
And honestly, I like what you said about the trading for the draft pick. My only concern is who the hell is trading for Kenny Pickett? Like, I don't know.
The Cleveland Browns did.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, maybe they're holding bodies for training camp injuries, like something
An
happened.
injury. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we know how many QBs have started over the last few years, Fizz. It's averaged between 65 and 75 QBs every year
yeah,
will
yeah.
get a
You're right.
start. So you absolutely need, if you don't have a good backup QB, we've seen those situations. It is so bad. Like the
Right.
Miami Dolphins over the last few years with Tua, they've had the Skylar Thompson and what's his face out of
Miami is
Baltimore.
tripping with that, bro. Yeah, you're right.
They finally figured it out with Zach Wilson, who I'm actually kind of hopeful for to see what he does after a few years of going through hell. But no, I think it's going to be very smart. I think some team will end up getting Kenny Pickett if the Browns choose not to retain him. So I think the crazier thing that would happen is what if Shador Sanders gets cut? That would be the only thing that I think would be not out of the realm of possibility. I don't like to think about it. Actually, I do like to think about it because Cleveland is such a bad shit show. I want him out of that fucking situation.
Yeah, I'm with.
I want him to go somewhere else.
I don't want to see him get cut, but I don't want him in Cleveland. So you're right. I'm with you. Hopefully they trade him. Just trade him. Don't cut him. Trade him. Get him out of there, man. Send him anywhere, man. Let's get him up out of Cleveland, though, man. So,
Yeah.
but I do believe he is the QB1 on his team, bro. I just don't see how you can't say that. I just don't think being a QB1 on this team is even relevant, though. Like, yeah, okay, cool. He's QB1. What does that equal? 3 wins, 4 wins? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's still going to blame whoever the QB1 is for the lack of talent and everything else around them. And then that'll make them go out there and want to draft another QB with those 2 first rounders they got next year. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
Your Pops wants me to give Dylan Gabriel
Yeah,
some
I
love.
posted it earlier, man. Pops, he was asking me. The matter of fact, during the draft, he was asking, man, with Dylan Gabriel, I ain't talking about him. Man, Pops, we ain't talking about Dylan Gabriel, man. But shout out to you and your boy.
For what it's worth, I did have Dylan Gabriel after Shador Sanders in my prospect grades. I didn't think he was terrible. But the thing is, though, is how many QBs are his height, that perform well in the NFL? So unless he gets a new surgery with those leg extensions in his knees,
hey, they got him. They got it going on, man. Well, hey, speaking of quarterbacks, brother, we're gonna keep the quarterbacks rolling. It seems this might be the first year in a while, right? I ain't gonna say first year, but you don't see too many quarterback debates. Usually teams know who their QB is and they're rolling with them. Like now it seems like we got a lot of maybe not full year debates, but we have a lot of like, if this guy stinks in 2 weeks, the next guy is up type situation. So
I'm kind of interested to hear what you have to say because I only had one QB battle. It was this one that I thought of.
Okay, well, I think you forgot about one, brother. I think it's this one right here, man. You got
Danny,
No Dimes, and A Rich, man. This is the debate, Rock. You can't say this ain't a debate now. I don't know how you skip this one, brother.
All right, well, maybe I can end this one very quickly. This is not a debate, and the reason why it is because A Rich is not healthy. A Rich is not healthy, and he starts off the season on the PUP. That's not to say that he might not get a start later on in the season, but I think that they're going in with Daniel Jones getting one of the biggest contracts for a backup QB that you could have gotten during this offseason. And he comes in as a professional QB that he was going to command the attention of the room. He's going to be able to get all of his receivers the ball on target. I think maybe a little bit better than at least A Rich. I think he has the leg up with that.
I don't know how he's going to be on target all of a sudden now.
The stuff that happened in New York was such a shit show. I mean, he was overdrafted. He went way too high in the draft. He wasn't that great of a prospect, but he had for many years one of the worst offensive lines in New York City. Now, in the latter part of his NFL tenure with the New York Giants, they started to build that back up. Thankfully, they did that for our dude Jackson Dart. But it was a little too late, and he had his best receivers that he had to throw to were Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson, Fizz. So he had like one of the worst offensive situations over the last few years. So I think also, too, he went to our dude's team in Minnesota. Maybe he got to learn a little bit from O'Connell last year with them. So I think all those different things, I give the leg up by far to Daniel Jones. And also, too, he's not a slouch when it comes to rushing. He is one of the better rushing QBs.
He can't run long because he'll fall and trip over his own feet, but he can run though, right? We know he can't run.
Looking like a giraffe. That guy does look like a giraffe when he runs.
If he sees too much green, he's going to fall. So that we know.
Because, if I was ever in that situation, I felt so bad for him when that happened, because if I was in that situation, I would have fallen and eaten shit too right before the goal line.
That reminded me of my, like when you were a kid and every time you see a kid running, you're like, man, I know they're going to fall and they're going to be screaming and hollering, their leg going to be scratched up. Every time my son runs, I'm like, I know he's about to fall. That was Danny Dimes right there, man. This dude.
Exactly.
I'm talking about 80-yard touchdown, could have broke a record maybe, and then this man just said, nope.
But Fizz, this is the ultimate read the tea leaves kind of situation.
Yeah.
It's just like they bring in Daniel Jones. He's probably going to run the offense better the way that Steichen actually wants it to run. He's going to be a better passer, and A-Rich is already hurt. And it's the same shoulder. It's the same shoulder that he struggled with throughout his entire career, even going back to college. So it's just it's just way too much negativity, I think, that unfortunately is piling up on A-Rich for him to get a fair start, which is why I think, a lot of people are saying he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year. So I think they're just going to, with Chris Ballard and with Steichen, with their jobs on the line, do you think that they're going to put any of that on A-Rich? Absolutely not. So I think it's going to be Daniel Jones. Probably starts the entire year, actually.
Oh, well, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I didn't see that one coming. I'm gonna be honest. I think with Daniel Jones, though, I think this is this might be like a Flacco situation where he starts, but if he stinks, bro, and he goes out there and looks like A-Rich, I believe with this team, I mean,
he does stink. He's not that good.
That's the point I'm making.
They both stink.
Maybe it's a good thing if he starts, because it gives A-Rich a term to not stink early. Like, let him stink first, and then I come in and I stink later. But I would rather be the one, because if he goes out there and he doesn't look good in 2 weeks, it's over with. Like, the rest of the season is done. If Daniel Jones goes out there and he doesn't look good 3 to 4 weeks, then it's like, all right, man, we need to try this A-Rich thing again. But if A-Rich starts out the season and he looks bad, game 2 is over. Like, it's no coming back from it. So it might do him justice to just sit out and hope that Danny Dimes don't collect the money, man. He dropped the dimes, man.
Yeah, I think it might be. Do you remember that situation with Zimmern in Minnesota a few years ago? It's like their QB situation was so bad, but then they were like, why don't you play this guy? And he was like, because I see him every day.
Hey, bro, that's got to be the most disrespectful take from a coach ever, bro. I could never look at my coach the same again. Like, what you mean you see me every day? Like, well, then again, you got to look at yourself in the mirror at that point.
No, because that player knows he's ass.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. That was a terrible take, man.
That was cold. Yeah, so that would be the only thing where Steichen, he's like, there's a reason why we're not playing A-Rich.
You're right. Well, I felt like this was a debate, but you kind of closed the debate part out on that one. So I'll say this: the other QB one I'm gonna bring up, which I'm not gonna say it's a debate.
You have another QB one?
I do. It's not really a debate to where who's gonna start, It's more so of just when. When is the next guy coming in? And we're gonna talk about your guy, Jackson Dart and Russ.
Okay.
So this is not really a debate, because I believe Russ has this job. He doesn't have to look over his back, his shoulder. But it's
not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
It's when. Exactly. So game 5, 6, 7. Like, we know Dart is coming in. Me personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Russ just go the whole year and just let Dart sit. And next year, Pat Mahomes this thing. I'm not saying he is Pat Mahomes, but just let him sit, man. If Russ doesn't get hurt, if you're the Giants, realistically, Rock, if you start off 1-5, do you really think Dart gonna come in and get you to 5-1? No, right? You're gonna probably lose more games. So just let him take his time, man. Unless Russ is just so bad that the New York fans start throwing pieces on the field, man, just let it ride, man. So I only brought this up because, like you said, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And what's your take on Russ being a starter? Where you at with the offense with him? And then if Dart was to replace him anytime midway through the season, do we really see an uptick in targets for other players like, Neighbors and these guys? Or what does this team even look like in 2025, brother?
I think it will look better than it did last year. I think that's for sure.
For
I
sure.
think Russ is in a better situation than he was last year.
For sure.
You look at the weapons he has to deal with. The offensive line isn't that bad in Pittsburgh. They've invested a lot into it, Fizz. But I think it's a better situation.
I think just coaching, bro. Just coaching
Yes.
for Russ is better. Like everything that looks better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this was the most ideal situation I wanted for Jackson Dart and also Jalen Milroe because
And
they don't
Shador
have to
Sanders
start.
Yeah, I wanted to say
And Shador Sanders, yeah, it is because the only thing with Shador is just like I think he just gets too much hate. I don't know if his organization is going to give him the fairest shake compared to Jalen Milroe and Dart. So it's the most ideal situation having to sit behind a veteran QB without the pressure of having to start. The only thing that I worry about though is I think the owner of the Giants he's already come out and said that the GM and the coach are safe for this upcoming season. I don't know about next season though. So if the Giants are bad and they have the toughest schedule in the NFL for this upcoming season based off of the win-losses from last year, I know we all know that teams change, but it's not an easy situation in New York for the Giants this upcoming season. So if he does get some starts, I guess the better question is, what do you think the over-under is on what week that he starts? And I can actually I can look that up while you try to give a guess.
Well, I just say this, man. First of all, shout out my boy, man. He said dope jersey. And I got to bring this up because the Giants are on the screen. So I damn sure want to put some Zeke jersey over top of this Giants trash that we're talking about. But, Rock, I will say, before I get to the over-under, I look at it as maybe the Giants know that this team isn't going to be good. The offense probably isn't going to be, ground shaking, world record breaking. But they got this defense so much better that they don't need Russ to go out there and put up 40, 50 points to keep up with all these other teams in this division like Philly, Dallas, and the Eagles. And the Commanders. Just looking at what they did with this defense is letting me know that they don't want to put up a lot of points. They don't want to rely on this offense to win games. They want to slow the pace of the game and help the run game out, help Tracy, help Scatterbo, help Rush make better decisions. They even boosted the offensive line. Rock, at the end of the day, bro, when we talked about this offseason, the Giants were like an A+ between the draft and the offseason. They did almost everything that a losing team could do to try to get back right. They don't have a Jaden Daniels, so they can't go from the 103 to an NFC championship game. But they definitely put enough pieces in this organization to say, we might not, compete and win games, but we're going to compete in those games and at least remind y'all that we here. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're a bad team like the Giants, and I always like to say this, people look at wins and losses. I get it. That's the only way we play these games, right? Wins, losses. Is no winning morality at the end of the day, Rock. You feel me? But when you're a team that's not going to win anyway, like the Giants, you can hold your head high and say, yeah, we lost by 2 points. Well, what team was that, right? Well, for like a whole year, was it the Chargers or the Colts? They lost like 10 games by less than a field goal or something like that. Like every game, it was competitive. It might have been the Giants with Daniel Jones.
It's changed every year. There's actually been one team where that's happened almost every year. Yeah, a couple years ago was like the Baltimore Ravens. Another year, last year, I think was the Bengals. Do you remember how many close shootouts that they lost?
But the difference is the Bengals had to score, like they was losing by 3 and had to score 48. Like that was just crazy.
That's what made it the most brutal. They just had one defensive turnover or something. But yeah, no, the Chargers also too was pretty brutal. But those are the three that I think of.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that to say the Giants could be that team this year where they're losing games, but it's like last minute drive, field goal. They're just competitive in every game. And I think Russ is solid enough to do that. And the defense that they putting around them is definitely going to allow them to do that. So
they do have a week 14 bye week. It's a late bye week. The team that they play right before that, week 13, is the Patriots. Then after the bye is the Commanders, the Vikings, the Raiders, and the Cowboys. So do you think it's before week 14 or after?
I'm going to be honest, right? Listen to those last teams you just said after the bye. Dart probably has no chance to win any of those games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even know if I want to put him in the fire like that, bro. I'm rolling with Russ.
The teams before the bye week are. This is all right.
Bro,
this is from week 6.
The Giants on paper have the hardest schedule in the whole league. Yeah.
This is it. Week 6, the Eagles. Week 7, the Broncos. Week 8, the Eagles again. Week 9, the 49ers. Week 10, the Bears. Week 11 is the Packers. Week 12 is the Lions. Their easiest game the whole freaking season is week 13 against the Patriots. That's it.
Bro, no, their easiest game is the bye week 14, bro. That's the easiest game. Because by then, Drake May might have his juice ready. You know what I'm saying? He might be.
Oh, no.
That defense over there in New England ain't going to be playing no games with Russ, bro. So I think that this is a recipe for failure for this team. But again, I still think they can compete. I just don't see them winning a lot of these games. Now, of course, they're going to surprise us with some of these crazy wins, last-minute catches, whatever. But, man, the Giants have a long road to fix with Jackson Dart starting. And I just don't think you throw him in the fire against the Chicago Bears or, I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it.
I think that Brian Dable has a lot of faith in Jackson Dart. I think it's this dude.
I believe it.
And if Russell Wilson is not moving the needle, I would not be surprised if he gets the job before week 14. Russell Wilson via PFF was the 15th best QB. He is the perfect bridge QB who's going to keep the ship from hitting the iceberg. Maybe they're going to be taking on water throughout the season, but they ain't going to crash and burn and then all these terrible things happen. So, but it's murderer's row. So it's
ugly, man.
It is.
It's ugly. So, well, like I said, it's not really a debate to me. But I'll go. You got the over under on when Dart would start? Did you look at? You find that or?
So it's just personal opinions. It's not. I couldn't find anything with Vegas.
So what's yours? What is? If looking at that schedule, right? Because you will know the schedule now. Give me a realistic date for a game or week for Jackson Dart to get revved up and get to rolling outside of injury.
Well, it's not week 5 against the Saints, and then there's that murderer's row of games. I would say he starts. Oh my god, it's so tough. They have the hardest schedule ever. So I'll go with week. I'll just go with week 11. I say he starts by week 11 against the Packers.
All right, man. We gonna see, man. I don't know. Rock.
It is at home. So all the rest are away. They're like on the road for like a month. So I think he gets a home start against the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, as like you said, I believe Dabo, because he might say, listen, they might fire me after this year, and I don't even get a chance to use my guy. So I'm damn sure going to use him. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. He might just say, F it, man. I'm throwing my guy out there. I don't care. Season's over with anyway. Now, realistically, if they are out of playoff contention and they look very bad, it's like, all right, you know what? Let's see what he got. I just think if you knew you had if you had an Andy Reid security type job, you could let him sit for a year if you're asking me. So,
Fizz, week 1, Commanders, week 2, Cowboys, week 3, Chiefs, week 4, Chargers. They go 0-4. Dart starts week 5 against the Saints.
Damn. That makes sense, brother. I ain't gonna lie, man. That sounds about right, man. And if I'm Russ, I'm pissed off because that's probably the first time I could get a win, man. Y'all cheating me, man. Damn, man. That's tough.
Oh, my God. It's going to be Dart versus Shuck. So, yeah, trade for Dart. He's going to start by week 5.
That's ugly, man. All right, man. Well, we're going to leave the Giants alone. I'm done with the QBs, Rock. You don't got to worry about it. But we're gonna get back to these running backs, man. I know I kicked it all with the running backs, but let's go ahead and stay in New York, man. Let's get it popping, see what's good, man, with these two guys. Your boy, Scatterbo, and we got Tyron Tracy, man. Tyron had a great year last year for an unexpected rookie to kind of really break out. His problem is fumbling, bro. He just kept fumbling the ball. I remember that London game. I think he fumbled twice, and I think the last one was to solidify the game. They were trying to run out the clock or something, and he fumbled, right? So I think, but that comes as a rookie, man. That comes with time, learning. But now you got to care. I know, but you got a Scatterbo. Now, last year you had the keys to success. Now you got this guy beside you, and it's like, hey, you one fumble away from just losing it all. So I do like Tyron Tracy for 2025. I don't know how long he'll be with this offense because they drafted Scatterbo, and if he's really that guy that you've been pumping him up to be, maybe it's still like a 1-2 tandem. It's still going to both share the ball. I just don't know who, after let's just say this horrible schedule they have, by week 8 or 9, who is the one that we can solidify as the game winner that we want to start every year in a lineup league. Best ball, you got both. Hey, you might not be too bad, but we don't see the Giants scoring 30 points a game anyway. So this run game might be so obsolete that it doesn't really, hurt us in a sense. And you shouldn't be banking on these two guys winning you your leagues or your championships. But who do you think has the upper hand going in the training camp, which I'm sure is Tracy, but who do you think ultimately can have that upper hand going into 2026 and saying, hey, I got rid of that guy, I need this guy?
I think you have to give it to Scatterbo. And the reason why it is, so he actually has the biggest same struggle as Tyrone Tracy, Fizz. Cam Scatterbo, I believe, fumbled 11 times in the 3 years that he was at Arizona.
Well, I think Cody just brought that up when we had that draft the other day.
So both of these guys struggle with fumbles. Cam Scatterbo looks terrible on pass downing situations and pass protection. He just looks like he's performing wrestling moves, like he's trying out for WrestleMania.
He's a small guy, man. He's short, cocky,
Yeah, so he needs to work on that technique. So I think Tracy is going to get a lot of the opportunities. It's probably going to actually be him. And don't forget about Singletary, Fizz. I would not be surprised if Singletary even gets more.
He's still on the roster.
He's still on the roster. I will not be surprised if he gets more of the opportunities than Scatterbo the first few weeks of the season. But as an RB prospect that was only behind Ashton Genty as far as production goes from last year, Fizz, and all the different things that we went through with the scouting series, Scatterbo is, in a lot of different metrics, one of the best RBs to come out for this class. I'm very high on him, and he has better draft capital than Tyrone Tracy. I believe Tyrone Tracy was he was a later round pick. So yeah. I think with all those things at the end of the day, the main thing is going to be where are they at when it comes to pass catching and goal line work. And it's hard to discern which one is going to get the better pass catching because they're both talented pass catchers. We got to remember that Tyrone Tracy was a wide receiver who converted to RB. So he's really good when it comes to pass catching. But if Scatterbo gets the leg up on the goal line opportunities, I think when it's all said and done, this is a tough one, Fizz.
I was about to say, how many goal line opportunities do they get, though, right? That's the problem, right? Is this offense good enough? Like, how many times do they actually reach the goal line to score?
Yeah, so if I had to maybe actually put money on it, Fizz, I think Tyrone Tracy at the end of the year has more fantasy points than Cam Scatterbo.
I'm rolling with Tracy, bro. I think right now I'm going to roll with the guy that's already been in the offense. And like you said, I think the biggest one is the pass blocking, right? If the pass blocking is really an issue for Scatterbo and maybe Tracy is better, I believe the veteran in Russ is going to want the guy that can block his blind side more than the guy that's, out there. I see Dunstan just put out there Scatterbo, just a better pass catcher. But I think Russ going to choose blocking over catching, man, at some point because he just want that help, So I just think I say this. The only way Tracy loses this job to me, he has to play his way out of this job. Fumbling, running the wrong route, missing a block here and there. I think he has to lose his job on his own versus Scatterbo overtaking him and overshining right away. So I think it's more of a you lose your spot by not doing your job thing for Tracy, if you ask me. But I am taking Tracy right now. If we talking redraft in 2025, I'm trusting Tracy over Scatterbo right now. I think the guy definitely surprised us last year in one of the worst offenses in the league. He just, like I said, had that fumble problem. But I like Tracy, man. He's a sleeper for real in most people's eyes, for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up via PFF his pass. Oh, my God. Tyrone Tracy out of He was ranked 104th of all RBs in pass blocking situations.
Yeah, never mind. I don't know.
He is red.
Hey,
Right
good luck,
above him
Russ.
is Austin Eckler, Roshan Johnson. So,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, it's hard to pass block with Austin Eckler blocking for Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels running all over the place, man. That don't count, man.
Alvin Kamara is at 98. So I don't know. Maybe PFF is very
I mean, but
tough
think
on their
about the
pass.
three teams that you just brought up. All three offensive lines were horrible, bro. How the hell was Tracy supposed to block when his offensive line couldn't block, bro? Come on, man. They ain't that
So
don't even
as
count.
I say that to say, and the reason why I want to look that up is I didn't think that Tyrone Tracy was good, but I didn't think he was that bad.
That bad, yeah.
So if Cam Scatterbo could just be almost as bad as Tyrone Tracy, which would be an improvement, Fizz, maybe it is kind of a 50-50 kind of thing between those two. But I think I don't know about Devin Singletary, man. We don't want to think about him being a thorn in both their asses, but he might be this upcoming season.
You're right, man. One thing about, and then again, you got a Russell Wilson, man. He gonna want that vet that knows what's going on. He ain't gonna want no guy beside him. Now, these guys may be more of the playmakers, but Singletary is gonna be there for the dirty work, the hard work, and maybe he punches the ball in on the goal line. He's been around for a while, man. Singletary, I think, is probably the most slept on. We don't want no parts of him, but in this offense, how many parts do you need? So
don't have high expectations for Cam Scatterbo this upcoming season.
For sure. And he's definitely been sliding, man. So in our drafts, bro, you had him at sometimes 201, 202, 203. What's the lowest you've seen him, and what's the highest today you would take him compared to the other guys, Tutons and the Trey Harrises and Mason Taylors? Who you taking? Where you taking Scatterbo these days in our drafts?
So I have him after Warren. I have after Loveland. Right now, I have him ranked ahead of Higgins, Burden, Trey Harris, Tootin.
Higgins, come on, Rock.
But I would not actually draft that way. I think the way that I would probably, if I was actually drafting today, Fizz, I would take him the 207, 208
that sounds
range.
right.
Because I also have Jalen Milroe down, and that's not the way I'm drafting either. So I would take Higgins, Burden, Harris, Milroe ahead of him, and then probably take Cam Scatterbo at the 207, 208.
Okay. Yeah, that right there to me, that would be, my.
But he ain't going there, Fizz. He's going at the 204. So that's the reason why I have 0 shares, Fizz. I had another draft. It was an auction draft. I tried paying up for him. Man, this guy, he paid up a lot to get Cam Scatterbo for me. So
you stop talking about him, brother. Stop talking about him, man. Well, we're going to talk about moving on from the big piece of the big apple, man. We're going to talk about two guys in the offense that actually scores points, man. These guys should be probably not neck and neck in their fantasy points, but I mean, either one can get the ball and take it to the house, man. We talking about the Minnesota Vikings, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason. These two guys right here, man, I think it's a dangerous sight to see if you're looking at you a linebacker. And let's this picture both of these guys in the backfield, right? This picture, McCarthy here and both of these guys back here. Just imagine who gonna get the ball, who might catch the ball, who gonna outrun you, run you over, juke you. I mean, I like this backfield right here. We know what Aaron Jones can do as a pass catcher. We saw what Jordan Mason did behind that offensive line that was kind of broken in San Fran. But when he got his opportunity, man, Sunday Night Football, I'll never forget it, right? I picked up Jordan Mason, bro, on free agency. It was either before the game or right after the injury or whatever. I put a trade out right away to a 49ers fan, Rock. Give me a 26-second for him or 25-second, whatever it was. After the game, I went to sleep. I didn't see the game. So I woke up. I'm walking my dog, and I saw a trade accepted. I'm thinking, trade accepted? Who accepted trade? I look. I'm like, oh, no. I didn't know he's going to play that good. Rock. I damn sure wouldn't have traded him after that game if I knew that was the outcome of the game. So I woke up and didn't even remember I sent the trade, and Jordan Mason just so happened to went off. So I just say that to say this guy right here, man, showed enough even before the injury to let us know that in an offense like the Minnesota Vikings, he can be one of them dogs, man, that people really, really, really sleeping on. But me and you are definitely wide awake, man, on Jordan Mason and his progress. So what you got on Aaron Jones, what you got on Mason, and let us know why both these guys need to be drafted everywhere you can get them.
Aaron Jones might end up being one of the better values for his people are not attracted to his age, especially in fantasy football. But he was 9th in the NFL in rushing yards. He was 7th in the NFL in receiving yards. He had one of the best seasons he's had from just a yard perspective. Mm-hmm. Now, the biggest thing that he took a huge step back on was his goal line efficiency.
Yep.
He used to be one of the most efficient goal line RBs when he was years ago in Green Bay, Fizz. But I think that's one of the main reasons why they brought on Jordan Mason. But then I've heard Jordan Mason actually isn't that great either when it comes to.
But I'm gonna say this, right? It's a difference when Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball and you on the goal line, and when Sam Darnold's throwing the ball, bro. You don't have no fears of backing up. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play up close, which is why remember that Justin Jefferson play when they think 98-yard pass because everybody was playing up. Nobody's scared of Sam Darnold. So, it's going to be hard for these guys to solidify their goal line rushing touchdowns because, now J.D. McCarthy, we'll see. He doesn't have the best track record of being the most precise passer either. And, he's not an Aaron Rodgers either. But I just think last year he took a hit because the defense didn't have to play back. They played up and they kind of pressured the front to not allow him to score those goal line touchdowns.
Yeah, and the San Francisco 49ers last year, for Jordan Mason's sake, you brought up the offensive line. They were, outside of George Kittle, all their pass catchers were pretty much hurt last year. And Jawan Jennings did the best that he could to shoulder the load. So I think he was going up against a lot of stacked boxes last year. And so I think Jordan Mason, I think you got to give him the edge when it comes to goal line opportunities. It's just whether or not I think it's going to be a true 50-50 share, Fizz.
I think it's going to be J.J. McCarthy too, though. You got to add him in with the goal line, Like he can move too. He can move too, bro.
I don't know. He's coming off a torn ACL. You think they want to put him in a Tank Dell situation where they having him run up the middle and he just tears his knee again? I don't think they're going to.
Got a bad shoulder and they have him playing running back like it ain't no other.
And you know what? I think that Steichen should not have done that. That was one of the worst things that they could have done. And look where he reaches out now.
It's crazy, bro. Like, I believe O'Connell was a little smarter than that, but I'm just saying, I don't know, man. If JJ go out there in the preseason and training camp and show that there's no limitations to his leg and I'm good to go, I see him letting his rookie cook, man. Let his rookie cook, man. You drafted me. Let me do my thing, coach.
I think they'll let him run. I don't think they're going to have any design plays on the goal line with him.
Look, we saw
that's the only thing I'm saying.
Years ago, right? Tank
exactly.
You're right.
Exactly. So, but both of them are very talented when it comes to when they have the ball in the hand, whether it's rushing or whether it's receiving. Mm-hmm. I like both RBs. I'm going to give the slight edge. And the reason why I think Aaron Jones is going ahead of Jordan Mason is because of his pass catching upside. For sure. And I think he's going to start day one as the main RB. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's like maybe a 55-45 share in favor of Aaron Jones. But here's the thing. Aaron Jones misses a few games. So there's going to be 2 or 3 weeks, Fizz, maybe even 4 weeks where Jordan Mason could have all the touches to himself and be a top 12 RB each of those weeks. That's his upside. So that's why we love Jordan Mason as our favorite handcuff probably in fantasy going into next year.
And the crazy part, Rocket, I noticed during our drafts, you can't get both because it's like the other person that's drafting gets reminded that, Jordan, Aaron Jones just went. Now Jordan Mason goes 3 or 4 picks later. It's like, or they'll fall all the way to that round. Of course, in our marathon drafts, it's 3 rounds later. So round 11, 10, 11, 12-ish. But once Aaron Jones goes or Jordan Mason, it's like the other goes right after.
Yeah.
People, all right, that wait is over. It's time to get one or the other.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is going at the end of the 11th round, and Jordan Mason is going at the beginning of the 14th round. So I would not be surprised if Jordan Mason starts to sneak up a round or two when it's all said and
for
done.
sure. For sure. So, and also with the Aaron Jones thing, I think name value as well, right? I mean, I know people want him for the pass catching, but just name value alone, knowing that he's Aaron Jones and in this offense already, I think that's what boosts him a little higher. But I think, man, they should be going back to back in drafts. One or the other, you can't go wrong with either one. So, I
Yeah.
don't know if this is really a debate. This is more of just showing love to both because they definitely going to be some dogs in this offense, Rob.
Yeah, and Aaron Jones, I don't know if you put much stock into it. He was named a top 100 player by his peers recently. So he had a great season last year.
He deserved it though, man. He deserved it, man. Aaron Jones been a dog. He's a Dallas, Texas boy. As you saw when he played us in the playoffs that year, had like 4 touchdowns in one half. he took it out on us. So I always wanted him in Dallas if we ever got the opportunity, and we never got it. So
yeah, he single-handedly gave you guys probably one of the most
terrible,
egregious. Oh my god,
bro! Yeah. That was personal. They say his high school was like right down the street, so he grew up in that area. So, shout out Aaron Jones, man. He gave us all the medicine we needed that day, man. That's for sure.
Fizz, when is it not personal? Every time some player goes off, it's like, oh, it's like John Wick kind of shit. It was personal. My high school coach was in the stands. That's why I had 4 touchdowns. Come on, man.
You're right. Nah, I like that. Right? Well, this right here is a winning formula. There's no real debate. This is more of just a little bit of praise and a little bit of love. So let's jump to the next one, Rock. We sticking with the running backs, man. And this right here is a good debate, I believe. We just talked about this rookie and his counterparts. We'll see where we at with those guys, man. We're talking about these Jacksonville Jaguars. You got ETN, you got Bigsby, you got Tootin. And for those that don't know, Bigsby on the left, ETN in the middle, Tootin on the right. For those that don't know the numbers and who the hell are these guys, right? But we do have the young guys here. They've already come out and said that y'all are tripping. ETN is our number one, so don't even debate that one. I haven't been hearing much about Bigsby lately, man. It seems like Tootin has been falling in the favors of the draftees in a sense. I'm not saying falling like people don't want him, but that Tootin hype that we had early a couple months ago has definitely dialed down a little bit. So with ETN being the clear 101 this year, I think they paying him enough that he has to be. Where you at with Tank Bigsby, man? Before we get to Tootin, Rock, where you at with Tank Bigsby, man? Because I like Tank and what he can bring. I just don't know where he falls in drafts and how much we can really trust him, man, after having a solid season last year. Last year, he stepped up a whole lot. And them taking Tootin, to me, don't say that they are that confident that they want Bigsby over, anything else. So where you at with Bigsby right now?
Fizz, so from all the important metrics that I look at personally, Fizz, Tank Bigsby was a better RB last year than ETN.
I know.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
When it comes to like who had the most juice and explosiveness,
it was Bigsby, bro.
Bigsby, he with yards created per touch, Bigsby, I believe, was top 6 in the NFL at 4.38 yards created per touch. When it came to, I think, one of the big ones, breakaway run rate, 7.4% Fizz for Tank Bigsby. That's also top 6. He was only behind Derrick Henry and John. Yeah, let me see who that is. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Okay.
He was tied with Bucky Irving at 7.4%. Oh, the other guy that was ahead of him actually was Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason also had a lot of breakaway runs last year. But yeah, there was a lot of plays where he just popped, where he was just gone. So he had a lot of juice last year.
He did.
Where else? What are some of the other things that he had to his name? I think those are the two big ones, just as far as explosiveness goes. Oh, his elusiveness, Fizz. He was also top 6 in the NFL. He had 132.4 elusiveness rating.
But nobody wants him.
The only person that was ahead of him, Fizz, Bucky Irving. He was number 2 behind only Bucky as far as the most elusive RB last year.
Rock, he could be starting for a team right now. I know they paid ETN already. They had already gave him his 50 option, but they drafted Tootin and we fell in love. Oh yeah, we gotta have Tootin. where is Tank Bigsby going though, bro? Because he was nice last year, and I don't know if the coaches just say, "Hey, we didn't draft you, we don't want you," but it's like, man, as a guy that's playing best ball, right? I look at the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity as he might be falling out of favor, maybe with this coaching staff, or maybe he never had a favor in a sense. But there's no way if ETN gets hurt that I can just say that Tootin is going to be the guy and Bigsby is just obsolete. I think Bigsby, for what he
Mm-hmm.
brought last year, bro, I think people are really sleeping on like not taking him in drafts. And I don't hear anybody talking about Tank Bigsby, man. It's like the tank is down, man. I thought it was no limit with the tank, brother. I don't know what's going on, Rock. What you thinking, man?
His yards after contact, he was number one. 3.8 yards after contact.
That's
So,
him.
yeah, he's just, I think he's, all right. In all honesty and full transparency, Fizz, I've not been clicking on Tank Bigsby. And maybe I should be after us
I,
going through this
I have on
discussion.
underdog. I'm telling you that now. I've been taking on underdog everywhere, bro.
So I do expect a bounce back from Travis Etienne. He does bring things to the table that are some of the best in the NFL.
Mhm.
EV wants to chalk it up as it was a terrible situation last year. He probably was dealing with injuries. So let's just clean slate everything that happened with them last year. But with him popping, with Tank Bigsby coming through and taking, shouldering the load when ETN couldn't be relied upon, I think
Mhm.
that should be rewarded.
It
But
should.
but I will also say too, let's also not forget about Tootin, who had one of all the RBs. It was the best combine we've seen from any class as far as RBs go. Tootin was one of the best ones. I mean, he has that crazy, crazy speed.
Mhm.
So I think that's why this is a very, very good discussion.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if all of them muddy each other as
Yep.
far as the
Yep.
opportunities go.
Yep.
There is no clear one, and maybe this is a situation we stay away from unless there's an injury. If there is an injury and there's only down to two of these guys, I think it could be worthwhile, especially if we believe between Trevor Lawrence, Hunter, and BTJ that this offense takes a huge step forward with Cohen. I think this could be a sneaky playoff team, Fizz, that people don't expect. And I think a lot of it will have to come down to one of these RBs really stepping up. As far as who, though, get a share of each of them, maybe is what the answer is.
Well, I say this. I believe that Bigsby's name is getting so not slander, but just not spoken about that he's the easiest buy. And two, if you're playing Dynasty, he's a long-term play to me. I believe if ETN is on a 1-year deal, he leaves. Tank Bigsby could be the clear RB1 next year if Tootin doesn't step up in his rookie season, because Tank already has something with this team, regardless if it's a new coaching staff or not. And if they don't want to have Bigsby around, I'm pretty sure a guy like a Sean Payton, once Dobbins leave, would gladly say, "Hey, man, I saw what Tank did over there 2 years ago. I don't mind bringing him on." It's guys like these coaches that we love that can find a Tank Bigsby on another team that's just wasting time, wasting space, that they gladly bring on over. So I think right now Tank is the biggest buy on this team. He's not talked about. Not a lot of respect is getting put on his name. But the ETN thing, though, Rock, I chalk it up as he missed his bestie, man. Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing, so he said, "Hey, man, I'm out of here too." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go chill with my dog, man. We're gonna go back to Clemson and chill for a little bit. So Tank, to me, though, I think is the biggest sleeper. I think people are just not talking about him enough. And
Yeah.
I
I like
know.
what Dustin said with that. If you want to pull up his comment, it takes more effort for these teams. Yeah, I think that's a great comment to not talk about players than to stay silent. You hear no negatives or positives is because the team doesn't want it out there. So sacrificing dollars for secrets. I like that last part, Fizz.
Yeah.
Where it's like
Yeah.
they want to keep them a secret. But yeah, Tootin, one of the better RB prospects that I graded. And I think he's a value if he's gone at the end of your second round. So none of these guys are going to cost all that much. ETN, we see he's going in the Swift range where he's like one of the last starting RBs that can go. So if you believe that this is going to be a team that takes a step forward, take a shot on all of them. I think is what we are coming down to at the end of the day.
And the value is there, bro. Tootin is probably going higher than all these guys, and all three of them you can grab late and literally have all three on your team, bro, and it wouldn't hurt you at all. So if this was ever a time to buy some running backs in one backfield at value price, these are two guys right here, man. Three guys actually that you can't mess up on.
And I think Dustin's not a fan of ETN. I like ETN. I think I do not like knocking players down because of injuries and bad situations, Fizz. The Jaguars have had two of the worst situations you could think of.
They have.
Urban Meyer is probably the worst I've personally ever seen. I mean, I went to Urban Meyer's restaurant. I saw where everything went down on that chair between him and that lady. Nothing will ever be the same ever again. I remember eating ribs with my wife and be like, that's where it happened. It happened right over there. So that place is awesome, by the way. It went under a different ownership now. That place is really, really cool. But no, I don't knock ETN whatsoever, Fizz, because the one season where we did see from him, where it was somewhat normal situation, he could stay healthy. He was a top 3 RB. So he has that in his range of outcomes. So
I just say this right now. Between all three, I know you love Tootin. If you had to have your pick, according to ADP, where you're drafting them, which one you taking at cost? Which one you think is the best value?
Any of them. Honestly, any of them. Just because, and if in our underdog drafts, I'm going to try to get a share of each of them.
I got you. That makes sense, brother. Well, I will say this, man. Hey, we got through the running backs. We got through the QBs. I wasn't trying to do this by position, but we got one of my positions that I love, man. I love to debate, love to talk about. We appreciate everybody that's here, man, tapping in, always staying tapped in. We're going to take a quick 30-second break, come right back, and we're going to talk about my favorite players, man. The ones you need to hear. More teams in a bunch, in a bag, in a barrel, and we're going to figure out which one of these crabs we're going to cook up out of this barrel, baby. So we'll be right back after this commercial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and we'll be right back with you.
Welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate. Welcome to South Harmon. We glad you here today. Like and subscribe, that's what we really appreciate.
Yes, sir. Just like that, we right back. Rock, man, listen, we got through these debates, and one of them I didn't bring up, though. So actually, we find time we'll talk about that one. But we're going to talk about the guys, man, the ones that we love to draft, the best position, the ones that bring us the most money in the championships. The reason why the words PPR or the phrase PPR was created, man, to get these guys more points and even more points. We talking about these receivers now, man. There are a lot of great receiving cores in this league right now. We talked about the teams earlier, but I'm going to get on one team in particular, kind of young, just took one of my guys who I wanted on my team. And I think this is kind of the hardest one because everybody that we want to talk about is so young, under a rookie deal, just got drafted within a year's time of each other. And the QB is young. So let's get to the Carolina Panthers, man. My boy Jake, man, might be proud of this one. He might hate this one. I don't know. But we got Tank for Tet, my man McMillan in the building. I always wanted him, man. Even after the people said his tape was trash, he can't run routes, blah, 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 blah. I love me some Tet. Then we go to my boy Leggett, man. You got Dollar Bill. You got Leggett in the building, man. And then we got us a Coke head, baby. We got us drugs. We got horses. Man, we got everything, man, over here in Carolina, baby. So, Rock, man, let me know first, man. I know Tet is the easy one to kind of be in favor for. He was drafted respectfully. He's coming from, a high pedigree of balling in Arizona. So it's kind of hard to say you don't want him or like him as the receiver one. So I'm not trying to debate who's the receiver one. I just more so want to kind of look at this team and say who has the opportunity to kind of upgrade Bryce, but also upgrade themselves. When we look at Tet, like you said, him running in the slot is probably the best position. He's a big guy. He doesn't separate though, right? So that's always been a knock on him. But man, he's so tall. It's like maybe he doesn't need to separate. We'll see. Leggett, he was drafted in the first round. Some people kind of shook their head at it and said, maybe he shouldn't have won the first round. I don't think he should have went over Ladd. I was a Keon guy. I thought Keon should have went too. But the Carolina Panthers wanted him. He didn't have the best season last year. He was kind of in and out injuries. I think he's due for another bounce back season, especially with Bryce being a solidified starter now. He doesn't have to worry about Andy Dalton taking over the job and being benched overnight. And then we got Jalen Coker, man, that boom bust, best ball receiver on our team that can take it to the house or might not get to catch the whole game, man. So outside of Tet being a rookie and we don't have any game tape on him as far as in the league, who do you think right now that we could speak on out of these three guys, or who you want to speak on first, that can kind of just elevate Bryce, man, and get him the way he needs to be, but elevate themselves so that we could say, man, I was right on this guy right here?
Well, I appreciate you giving me a chance. I have like 8 tabs open right now.
I know, that's why I kept talking, bro. I kept rambling.
This is one of the toughest ones to try to discern, Fizz. So I think, first of all, I think a great starting point is just looking at how successful these guys did last year. So if we start with Coker, and I'm on reception perception right now, Fizz. Mm-hmm. Versus man, 63rd percentile. Versus zone, 48th. Versus press, 63rd. That's for Coker. Now, when you look at Leggett, 35th percentile when it comes versus man, 26th versus zone, 17th versus press. So by far, Jalen Coker was the better receiver last year. I think, and I agree with what Matt Harmon says, is that we would like to see Leggett used a lot more creatively, like as a flanker, where you put him in motion. I don't remember if I don't know if you remember, Fizz, when he was coming out of South Carolina, mm-hmm. where those huge plays where he was going across the middle and he would just take it to the house when mm-hmm. he was, taking those slant routes. And that was not the way that he was unfortunately used as much as he could have been last year with Carolina. So I think that was one of the biggest disappointments. They had him run a shitload of comeback routes, curl routes. Those are some of his worst. His curl route was 11.1%. He did not do very good at that. His comeback route, actually, he only ran that 1.2%. I had them flipped. He wasn't very successful at that whatsoever as well. A lot of the routes that they had him run was just not very good last year. So hopefully they can put him more in motion, put him in a better chance to be able to succeed. Coker, I think, is tough because I just read a report that his roster spot isn't even guaranteed, Fizz.
Yeah.
Despite him being probably one of the more successful wide receivers for them last year, he's an undrafted player. He does not have the first round, price tag attached to him like Leggett. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, I think even though Coker is the better receiver and can be, more successful in the NFL as far as just what you look for, I'm kind of worried that Leggett is still going to get more of the attention from the Carolina Panthers. For sure. What are some of your thoughts with that before I get to some of these other guys?
Now, don't get me wrong, right? I know it was a stretch to kind of add Coker in this conversation, but I respectfully like Coker as a receiver, right? Especially a boom bust guy. The problem is I didn't add the other two guys in, which is Adam Thielen and now Hunter Renfrow, who are more guys that's there to take targets and compete with at least a Coker anyway. Leggett and Tet, they pretty much are good with their job, at least, under contract. Coker is that guy that's on the bubble that doesn't have a clear path because they went and got Hunter Renfrow and they re-signed Adam Thielen. So his job definitely isn't the safest. His position, his outcome, we really don't know. But I like what he did last year for the little bit of work he did. The problem with this team is last year, if we going off last year with, like you said, with Leggett not running the same route tree, One, the offensive line was one of the worst in the league, if not the worst, bro. They had Andy Dalton coming out of nowhere. Bryce had the worst confidence I've seen of any quarterback in 2024. And then he's a short guy. We always talk about short guys throwing across the middle. You talk about Kyler Murray all the time. And it seems like they're drafting guys that run these across the middle routes, but they don't have the QB to sufficiently get them the ball across the middle. So it all sounds like a recipe for failure.
He is the best, though. For what it's worth, between him, between Russ, between Kyler, Bryce Young actually is the best when it comes to throwing over the middle.
Well, hopefully he got time to throw it over the middle. But I do believe, this year, though, we're going to see a different Bryce. I think this year the Carolina Panthers have maybe not done everything they could, but they've done enough to say, okay, Bryce, our bad about last year. We dropped the ball on that one. We should have never allowed things to get that bad. We broke your confidence. We put you around a bunch of trash that just didn't equal up to much. But the way he closed out the season against the Atlanta Falcons, bro, that was a great sign of, okay, we got some here. And now looking at them adding Tet, basically saying, hey, we need a defense more than anything, but we're going to add another guy, a guy that you go across the middle, Tet, he can't miss you. You know what I'm saying? You're too damn tall to miss. I think they've done everything with this receiving core, especially adding Renfro. And I'm sure all these guys won't make the roster, or maybe they won't play a role. But adding Renfro, re-signing Thielen, they don't have any excuses on his offense. They went and got ETN. They went and got my boy from Dallas. I didn't fumbled on his name, Rock. The running back from Dallas, that from last year, Rock.
Oh, freaking Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. They got
Rico.
So I'm just saying they went and spent money and got players to at least fill in some holes and some gaps. And
they hit him with the Rico Fizz.
Long as it ain't the Diddy Rico, we can live with it, man. All right. So
no, we're talking about the other song.
I know. But I will just say, though, I believe this is a year for the Carolina Panthers to one step up. The division isn't that hard to really compete in, man. I know Tampa is probably the clear best roster, but I think they looked at it Tampa because their coach comes from Tampa, and he just looked at you got Garrett Wilson, McMillan. I said Garrett Wilson, Chris Godwin, McMillan, Mike Evans. Baker. You got these guys who literally you put them on any offense, man. These guys can run some routes. They can run the ball and run the score up. I don't know if they have that exactly in Carolina, but at least they're looking like they're attempting to just say, hey, we're putting something together. But as far as what the question really was with these three receivers, though, Rob, I just think I'm with you. Coker could play himself or not even play himself in his position, unfortunately. But I say this, I would gladly put him on Dallas Cowboys. I put Coker with a lot of teams, man, if the Carolina Panthers don't want him. But Leggett is the guy, really, man, to me. I think he's due for a bounce back season. They took him in the first round. He had a lot of injuries. And I don't think they set him up for success last year, man. I think his route tree was bad. He had a couple of good plays, a couple of good touchdowns, but I'm going to scratch the whole year for the Carolina Panthers. Other than Chuba Hubbard, bro, who just like, look, nobody else can do nothing good. Give me the ball. I can win, run the ball. This team is due for a new season, a new franchise face on it, new paint on the wall, let it dry, a new logo. Man, they do for everything, Rock, this year. So
damn, Fizz, you're writing off the Carolina Panthers for 2025. Jake, where are you at?
I'm writing them off, man. We got to throw it in the trash, bro, because I think coming into this season, though, Bryce Young is a different quarterback. Leggett will be a different receiver. Ted McMillan will be a guy that everybody hated his tape, but he's going to show with the right NFL coaching staff, he can be a little better. And Adam Thielen is still that raspy guy who got a chip on the shoulder, who is not going to go away. So I like the Carolina Panthers, is what I'm trying to say, Rob. And I think every receiver that's in this room has something to prove. Ted does at the number one pick, and Leggett shows last year was not me. I'm going to show y'all who I am. And I think Coker, man, hopefully, if he gets the opportunity, he can give us some, like I said, man, some Brandon Cook type games, man. Just give us some Brandon Cook games. I can live with that, Coach.
So let me go through some of these. I found some of these metrics here with maybe will help us try to figure out this situation. So Adam Thielen ran out of the slot 74.7% of the time. The next closest guy after him was actually Jalen Coker. Now, with Tet being a guy that he's very similar to Leggett, where he's going to perform best out of the flanker, out of the slot, where you can get him in motion, you can get him in space. I think that's where he's going to perform best.
Yeah.
But he profiles with his height and with his speed, Fizz, as a prototypical X wide receiver. So hopefully Dave Canales, he has a lot on his plate when it comes to trying to put all these guys in the best situation to be able to perform. You have two guys that are similar in Leggett and Tet as far as where they're going to be deployed in the most successful manner. And then you have Thielen, who basically only really profiles as a slot. So you have a lot of these guys that do the same things. And when it comes to just as far as success goes, yards per route run, Thielen was the best at 2.1. The next closest guy was Coker. When it comes to targets per route run, Thielen and Leggett were actually tied for one another at 0.21. When it comes to target percentage, it was Thielen at 18.7%. Then it was Leggett. So I think the biggest thing is Leggett has to take a step forward when it comes to his route running to being a dependable receiver. He had some critical drops last year, Fizz. So he has, I think, this year to really take a huge step forward, which is why everyone's been talking about, man, what is he doing with Glorilla? Get off that horse. Get your shit together.
Hey, man, you're on the wrong horse, man. He's riding the horse, baby. Hey, man. I say this.
That's the biggest thing, I think, for me that's hardest to figure out. I think Thielen, does he have 1 year left, Fizz? Maybe we should just be drafting him and not worry about all these other guys. Or maybe if it's old man Thielen, that last year was the best we're ever going to see from him. Maybe it's just Tet and nobody else.
Yeah, I mean, I say this. I'm not saying that I'm a put my life on the line to say that Leggett is going to take off this year, but I just want to see it, right? I want to see it.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah, as a fan of the game, as a guy that loves the receiver position, I know Ted is there, so it's going to make it the water's a little murky, and Thielen just won't go away. There's a reason why Thielen ended up being the number one receiver for Bryce, because if you remember, Rock, and it was press conferences or the locker room conversations, Thielen came out and he said, listen, this isn't on Bryce Young. This is us as a team, as a unit. Like, he basically took the leadership role. And I think that resonated with Bryce, man, when he came back. I think he looked at Thielen and said, hey, you was the one guy that never gave up on me. And I think that went a long way. So I think if people drafting Tet and Leggett, don't be surprised if Thielen go out there, man, and for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, lead them in receiving. And you're like, man, this old dude is, doing what I want my guy to do. So I think they have a good bag of people around Bryce, but the guy I want to see step up the most, man, is Leggett, man. I just want to see Glorilla at halftime or in the front, man, you know what I'm saying? I want to see it, Rock. I need to see it popping, baby. So well, hopefully we get some Leggett, man, and he get off dollar bill and get on that glow wheel, man. So we're gonna see what's up with that, man.
Yeah, Fizz. There was nobody that was more excited to see Leggett get drafted in the first round than I was on draft night. I don't know if you remember that. I was like 7 seconds ahead of everybody. Between him and Ricky Pearsall both getting that first round draft capital, absolutely stoked. But I saw enough from him last year where I was like, man, he has to take a huge step forward in order for him to survive in this NFL. So I'm a little bit worried. Also, too, keep in mind, this Carolina Panthers team is not projected to score hell of a lot of points. They're at 20.5 points. That's good enough for – that's like 25th in the NFL. So it's not looking all that great for Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. But when it comes to receivers, though, that isn't as much of a death nail. You can be on a bad team like Malik Neighbors was last year and still score a shitload of points.
Okay.
So
I just say this to kind of close that out on the points thing. It's not like their defense took a great step up. Their defense isn't bad, but it ain't the best either. You know what I'm saying? So if your defense ain't that good, bro, the offense had to score points. So I look at them as scoring more points than what they believe they'll score. So Hopefully the Carolina Panthers hook it up. Hopefully Jake hook us up and give us some insight, man, and let us know who to bet on for these overs and unders, man. But
Pound the drum.
that's it, man. That's it, man. But yeah, we gonna get up out of here on Carolina and Rock. We are going to finish with a long debate of these teams. I didn't even make all the graphics. I just said forget it. It's too many damn receivers in these teams, man. But I got the logos up for you, brother. The pecking order. Who has the advantage? We got Green Bay, we got Denver, we got Chicago, we got Buffalo, Tampa, Kansas City. I don't know if I missed any. The Jaguars, I guess, no, because Travis, we know what they are with Travis Hunter and what's his name. So, yeah, man. Who you starting with first, Rock? Let us know. I will say, if I had to give you a favorite, my favorite receiving room, I'll say, would probably be Tampa Bay, man. I think Tampa Bay to me, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Buka McMillan. I would have to go my favorite with Tampa, but the guys I would say I trust the most, I'm going with Pat Mahomes all day, baby. Pat Mahomes and whoever he throwing the ball to, that's who I'm rocking with, man. So my favorite will be Tampa. I'm rocking with my ones I trust the most, which is Pat Mahomes, to get his guys the ball. But I will say the Chicago Bears is right there with me too, man. Ben Johnson going to hold it.
So they're all your favorites, basically.
I know. I know. I said all that just to say a bunch of nothing, man. So you let me know which one we starting off with first. And hey, man, what is it going to look like in these receiver rooms on your side of town, brother?
Let's start with the Buccaneers real quick.
Okay.
I started looking into Jalen McMillan. I think we can fade him a little bit only because a lot of his production last year, Fizz, came on an epic touchdown run where he was just scoring multiple different touchdowns. Yeah. He was going absolutely crazy.
Was hurt too, so that helped.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily like it when a wide receiver, so much of his production came from touchdowns because he ranked via player reception perception 24th percentile versus man, 20th versus zone, 24th versus press. So he does not profile as one of those guys that, you know, if you give him a lot of volume and he has that opportunity, he'll make the best with it, with his athleticism. But as far as a route running wide receiver technician type, he does not profile as that. So I say that all to say, if he is lining up as the main X outside of Mike Evans, because that's where he took 72% of his snaps out wide. That's the highest of any receiver on this team. So I think it's going to be tough for him to get off the field, but he might just be used more of a sacrificial X Fizz, where he's just stretching the defense so that Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Emeka Ibuka is going to thrive. I think Mike Evans, he is definitely the alpha of this team, but he's getting up there in age. He almost missed out on having his 10th or 11th? I think it was his 10th straight.
Yeah, almost. I think it went down literally to the last play of the game. Like
it literally, yeah.
Right.
So I'm glad that he made that threshold. I think he tied with Jerry Rice with that. I think he's going for the record this upcoming season for most consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. So we hope he gets that. But I say that all to say he's getting older. He might miss more games this season. So I think it's everything is pointing to between his age, missing games, Chris Godwin having a major injury last year that we've talked about all offseason. This is the reason why we like Emeka Ibuka. I think of all the receivers in this team, it's going to be the Emeka show, and he's the one that you want on this offense, Fizz.
Well, he took him first round for a reason, brother. Especially at a position where we didn't even think they needed to address right away. They took him in the first round when I thought they were going to go defense. Maybe they go O-line. They went receiver first round. So that lets you know that they are high on this guy. They probably couldn't believe he fell to them. And maybe they looked at Mike Evans with the 10 years and he got another year to go. Chris Godwin coming off major injuries, all the points you just made. And you would think with the way McMillan finished the season that receiver in the first round was just not on the calling card. But maybe Mbuka is just that good that they would not let that guy pass. So, Yeah, I like I do think Mbuka is going to be the sleeper of this especially draft season, because I know he's still going in the first rock, but it don't seem like a lot of people want him because they think he's going to break out year one. They just want him because they think, because I always hear this, man, you got to wait on Mbuka. I don't want him for a win now team. And I done heard these people tell me, I offered them to some guys.
I don't want a good player that's going to score me lots of points. It's just like on a top 10 offense. That make no damn sense, man.
It don't make any sense, bro. These are the same people that didn't even trust McMillan, and then he won them championships, but they let them tell it. Mbuka, I gotta wait on him. He's not a win now piece for me. Okay, sounds right? Okay.
That don't make no damn sense. You want a player that is going to go up in value, and a guy that's going in the back half of your drafts, he's only going to go up. Another thing with him, he ranked 92nd percentile of his versus press, 82nd versus zone. Those are two of the best of any rookie prospect that's coming out this season. This guy, when it comes to his route running, he's already at an NFL level. That's what they do at Ohio State. That's why they come in. They're only behind LSU as far as wide receiver university. These guys come in ready to produce right away. Look for Emeka Egbuka to be one of the best rookie wide receivers this upcoming season.
And Rock, don't forget when he was in Ohio State, who he had across from him, bro. He just so happened to have two of the best receivers ever in history.
He got 1,000 yards with Jeremiah Smith on the team, Fizz.
And the year before they had Marvin Harrison, bro. Like, who can compete with this? Like, come on, man. So my boy just had a bad shake, man.
You know, one of my favorite things is whenever these guys come out, they're like, it was actually JSN who was the best. A year later, it's going to be like, actually, it was Emeka Egbuka who was the best.
100%,
that kind of shit.
100%. So shout out Emeka Egbuka, man. We love him. But it's overall, though, Rock, with the Tampa Bay Bucks, just your closing argument or remarks on this receiving core, where you think they stand at as far as this group that's on the screen. And we go through the best at the end. Where you think they are as a whole, and you brought up Mbuka maybe breaking out with Mike Evans falling a little bit in age and Chris Godwin not being healthy. I know you've been really honing in on Chris Godwin and his injury, but where we at with Tampa Bay right now in this receiver room before we close out and leave the dishes on the table?
The Tristan Wirfs injury should be taken into account. I think that could be critical. This was one of the best offensive lines. So I don't expect like a catastrophic step back. Some of these teams were when they're best, like we saw with Trent Williams last year when he unfortunately missed games. That offensive line just went to shambles. Some of these offensive lines, that happens. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think it's not going to be that big of a step back, but it will have a huge impact on Baker Mayfield if he gets that pressure where Wirfs used to be, And if that's the case, it's even more, I think, for Emeka Egbuka. Or if he has to get the ball out quicker, that's where Emeka is going to be operating. He's going to be operating in the short, immediate areas of the field in the middle. So I think he's going to be a potential safety valve for Baker Mayfield. So,
all right. Well, I agree with everything you said, brother, but Chris Godwin, let's get it, man. I'm taking Chris Godwin everywhere, man. I know you don't trust him this year, but I'm taking the guy, all right?
Well, another transparent moment right now. How I keep saying, don't draft guys coming off major injuries? I've been drafting a lot of Nick Chubb. So
there we go, right?
He is my favorite player, regardless of position, regardless of team. Nick Chubb is my favorite player. He has been ever since he's come in the NFL. Absolutely love him. Get to watch him play for the enemy. But so I can't knock you. If Chris Godwin, if he's the guy that you want to stake, you put your flag on for this upcoming season to prove us all wrong, go ahead and do that. I'm doing that with Nick Chubb.
I ain't mad at that, brother. Especially now that he's off Cleveland, you can definitely do it and feel a lot better about it. So I agree with you on that one, Rock. Chris Godwin all the way, man. But who next? What team you want to touch on, brother?
You want to talk about the Packers?
That's a good one. That's one to me. Matthew Golden, right? This is the first time. Is this ever in history they took a receiver in the first round? I don't even remember if it's the first time.
It's like the first in like over 10 years.
Okay, they went Matthew Golden, which I believe, I always say this every time we bring this up. They should have took a JSN or Addison or one of those guys the year before or a couple years before. They didn't. They waited to the second or third round to take Reed. So I just say, long story short.
Oh shit! It's actually since 2002.
Okay. Who was it?
Javon Walker.
Oh wow. What pick was it? It's probably a late pick if it was Aaron Rodgers on the team.
Man, you asked me two damn questions. I don't know. It doesn't say.
All right, cool. We ain't gonna worry about it because we got a lot of stuff to talk about anyway. But Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, who else we got? Oh, Christian Watson out on PUP IR. He's out for the season. Who else we got over there, Rock?
No one else. That's just it's really honestly between Reed.
It is.
Because I ain't gonna talk about Dobbs.
Yeah.
And there's so many people are.
Come on, Rob. Put a little bit of respect on Dobbs, bro. He can at least. He's not going to compete for yardage, but he can catch those big plays, 40, 50 yards when they need a deep pass or a touchdown. He's a jump ball guy, bro. I watched this man jump over every Dallas defender live and on demand, bro. But if you don't want to talk about him, we'll keep it short because we're going to go through other teams anyway. Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, break it down. Me personally, I think this helps Reed a lot because now he has a guy that can take it over the top and he can play underneath, get the ball in the backfield, catch a short, run longer routes. I think this helps. I know he had a question with the team. I think even his his agent had asked the question, where does my guy stand? Is he still the receiver one? And they said he is the receiver one. They said it out loud. I think this helps him more than it helps everybody. But what's your take on this room and where you at with Golden and Reed, brother?
So Jaden Reed is one of the better route runners in the NFL. I think he is very much like Josh Downs, where you want to see more opportunities and hopefully it not bring down his efficiency. But versus zone, 82nd percentile. Versus press, 80th percentile. Versus man, 74th percentile. But he just only gets pigeonholed with this slot percentage. Like he is by far the main slot guy. So that's the reason why with such a run-heavy team phase, he's not always out there in, let's say, like 21 personnel or 12 personnel. It's just like because they're going to put a bigger guy like Golden out there who can operate at every part of the field. But I think Jaden Reed can do that too. They just refuse with guys like Dontavian Wicks, with Romeo Dobbs, these bigger guys, even though he's better at them in almost every metric you can think of. They're like, you're a little bit too small. We're just going to only put you at the slot. It's a Matt LaFleur thing. It's a coaching thing. You really can't do anything about it. It's super frustrating. So I think Jaden Reed is by far the better wide receiver. It's just whether or not he's going to get the opportunity. And I think that's honestly what it comes down to. I hope that Jaden Reed does get more of an opportunity next year. I think he can actually be a pretty good bet that will pay off. Fizz, I don't know if you remember, I was trading away like a lot of capital to get Jaden Reed. He exploded the first 4 weeks and then he completely fell off. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
So that still kind of hurts me. I remember trading Joe Burrow away for Jaden Reed, 2026 first, and Derek Carr. It's one of the worst trades I've ever made in my entire life. You could play the sounder right now.
What the hell?
You got to do that 2 times.
What the hell?
This, and I thought I could do the trade because I'm like, all right, I have Lamar, I have Jaden Daniels, I have JJ McCarthy, and I have Michael Penix. Joe Burrow was my one of 5 QBs. I'm like, yeah, I could do it. And I was just like, no.
What the hell? What the hell?
You get another one, brother. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. That was definitely tough.
Not Derek Carr. That's what I'm saying, Patty.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really, really tough.
Hey, at least you admitted it, though. We didn't have to know that. So shout out to you.
No, because here's the thing. You learn a hell of a lot more from the mistakes that you make, Fizz, than the things that you get right. I will never, ever do that kind of trade again. I learned if you have a guy that's going in the first 2 rounds of startups, do not trade him until the very end of the season. I traded for Jaden Reed like week 3, week 4. As soon as I did that, Jaden Reed went like this.
Man, listen. Yeah, it got ugly. It got ugly quick, brother.
Yeah. So, and then there's a knock on Texas receivers. We've seen this with Adonai Mitchell. We've seen this with just some of the guys that have come out where maybe they're not as polished. They don't succeed as well as we would hope for in the NFL. I hope that Golden changes things around. He does have that first round capital. He is 77th percentile versus zone. Not so good versus man or press. That's the only thing that's really tough, but he has that speed. So hopefully LaFleur can dial some things up to be able to put Golden in the best situations possible. He looked amazing on film on a lot of different plays. Yeah. He was playing with one of the worst QBs in college football last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want shares of both these guys, Fizz.
Well, the one thing before we close out on this, I will say, me and you weren't as high on Golden when his draft capital was just outrageous, right? They had him going like number 12 to Dallas and number 9 to Carolina. And I'm just like, bro, what is going on here? Like, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So
you hated him, Fizz.
I did, bro. Because I'm like, what is going? Like, I really hated him because they kept trying to give him to Dallas, and I'm like, no. Like, I didn't hate him, the player. I just didn't want him on my team at no damn number 12 pick. That was crazy. So I'm glad he fell back, and I believe Green Bay, it still was a surprise pick. I didn't see that one coming at all. But if anybody's going to take a chance on it, we like LaFleur. We know what he can do, and I don't mind it whatsoever in Green Bay. I just think Jaden Reed will take a step up. It's going to help him the most out of everybody in this room. And yeah, man, buy some Jaden Reed, but not for Joe Burrow prices. All right. Patty, I saw he said Flacco. Falcons don't get a credit for London and Mooney. Honestly, bro, I didn't bring it up because I don't think this is a debate. I think
it's solidified. It's solidified.
So I can't really that's like earlier Travis Hunter and BTJ. Like it ain't really. We know what's good, so that's why those guys are. But I'm a London guy. Come on, Patty, man.
But he is right though. It's like they don't get enough credit. London and Moody is solid.
And Kyle Pitts, man, we gotta keep him in the mix too, baby. But Rock, who we going on with next?
I'm leaving that ingredient
out. Who we going with next, man? Who we with next? What you got?
You want to talk about the Bills? That one might be kind of interesting.
Well, you know what? I actually thought about one as you were talking about what you were just saying, and I'm not sure how much we care about it, but the Colts are a team we maybe could have talked about too with Downs, Pittman. I know you didn't want to talk about it. That's why I didn't bring it up. So I'll leave it alone.
The QB situation is just too tough for us to really figure it out. But I think very quickly with Colts, it's Pittman, it's Josh Downs. We didn't see enough from Adonai Mitchell. I don't know. Alec Pierce, I think, was maybe a one-hit wonder as far as years go. So I think he ran very clean when it came to the touchdowns. So, no, you can miss me with that. Okay. Let's move on to Buffalo.
Right. Let's pay the bills then, baby. We're going to Buffalo. We're going to pay these bills. And I feel like Khalil Shakir is the clear 101. I mean, that's not really a big debate. More so, I love
the till.
I love me Keon Coleman. I know you have a lot of reservations about him. But I will say you did admit that he's running the wrong route tree, too. So a lot of it necessarily isn't just on him because he has what was that? After the catch, a lot of yak. He's top in those.
He's amazing with the ball in his hand. Yeah. But yeah, he's like number 5th or 6th as far as lining out wide. 88.6% of his routes, Fizz, was out wide. This guy does far better when he's out of the slot, when he's out of the flanker position. The real question, reason why I put the Buffalo Bills on the list is, where do you think Elijah Moore comes into this situation? Because
that's a great question.
If he is as good of a prospect as we were hoping we were going to see out of him, and he's played in 2 awful situations, Fizz, with New York and with Cleveland, probably 2 of the worst franchises you could possibly play for. Man. Completely misused there.
Great, brother.
Terrible QB situations there. Does Elijah Moore, does he have a chance to actually far exceed his ADP of where he's at right now?
I don't know if he could far exceed it. That's the problem, right? Because, and this is the biggest thing. I felt about Amari Cooper last year, right? People say he stink, he sucked, he was old. Bro, this team ran the ball so much. I don't think it matters who plays receiver for this team. Unfortunately, right? I think they need a number one receiver in Shakir for sure. But just looking at
he's going as the wide receiver 97.
who Elijah.
He's the 252nd player. He's going in the 20. He's the 21-12 Fizz.
Right. Remember, everybody wanted Dalton Kincaid, and now he's going super late. Like nobody. When it comes to even Khalil Shakir,
he's still going way too damn early for me.
But I'm just saying, even Khalil Shakir, bro, you would think Josh Allen's number one receiver should be going 3 or 4 rounds higher, bro. He is getting it's like I done rolled past his name for guys that are number 2s on their team. So I'm just saying, Buffalo's receivers, to me, this is the biggest question mark out of all the receiving corps, because I know Khalil is the clear one on paper and production. But if Elijah Moore really went out there, bro, I'm not saying he could steal the number one spot, but if he could make it close to the point where it's worth the gamble of not taking Khalil and just saving the money and getting Elijah next year if they keep him around, because they ran the ball so efficient last year, bro. They were running the ball on 3rd and 11. Like it's 3rd and 11, they running the ball. Like they do not care about throwing it. And Josh Allen winning MVP in an offense where they don't even care about who's on the ball is crazy to me. But I just think Josh Allen, James Cook, Ray Davis, these guys are just going to run this offense, and whoever gets a piece of whatever's left, they just get it. So I'm scared of everybody in his offensive scheme at the receiver position, if you ask me, bro.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a good question to be able to have. I think of all these guys that are going super late in your drafts, go for the guy where it's an unknown situation. We know that Khalil Shakir is probably going to be the one. Who's going to be the 2, though, especially on an offense where they are going to spread the ball? I like Elijah Moore at cost. I think you like Keon Coleman. He hasn't gone that high either. I think that's a fine, okay bet to be able to make. At the end of the day, though, the Buffalo Bills, they know where their bread is buttered. It's with James Cook and that running offense. That's what makes Ray Davis.
Even Ray Davis, man, he might mess around and be more valuable than these same receivers we talking about, man. If injuries happen or whatever the case. And I like E. Will's question. He kind of calling out and asking about that, betting on Elijah Moore. What is a win for Elijah Moore? Draft him in the 20s and then flip him for a 3rd mid-season, or what's the upside when you extract him?
I think if you can get a 3rd for him, absolutely, because that was a player who was worth and still is worth today nothing. He's worth nothing whatsoever. So if you can get him for that, I think it's only upside with it for the cost to the possible benefit. And I don't know how I feel about Josh Palmer, man. That's just like, he's probably going to be one of the main guys that is running on the boundary and playing their X wide receiver position, but he could just be a sacrificial X.
You're right. I forgot he's even on the team.
There you go.
To be honest.
So I like Shakir, you like Keon, and then just take a gamble on Elijah Moore.
I do. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. I'm a homer with Keon. I like him because I'm a homer, but I also like him because they took him high in a second. He was almost a 1st-round pick. So they at least want to see this play out with him. So I trust the value of where they took him, and hopefully they say, all right, just like Leggett, right? They took him in the 1st round. It didn't work out year 1, but we drafted him so high, man, we not giving up on this guy after 1 year. So that's my bet on Keon. Just we took him so high, man, we're going to go ahead and roll with the guy that we took. So you still with Buffalo, or we moving on, brother?
Let's move on. You can pick the next one.
Okay, well, we're going to go Broncos on this one, bro. We're going Broncos because you love Marvin Mims so much. Let's talk about Corliss Sutton.
I can't believe you would say that. You son of a
Brian. Let's talk Marvin Mims and whoever else is over there right now. We got Evan Ingram. You got JK and Harvey probably gonna catch passes too. I mean, they're not receivers, but I'm just throwing some names out there. But Pat Bryant guy, right? Everybody talking about him. They talk about his big body frame. I even read yesterday he has Michael Thomas like features, right?
Sean Payton getting way too crazy with this shit.
Come on, Rob. I know Sean Payton is said this is some guy online. So people just looking for clicks. I'm just saying that to say the conversations are going to be coming up. Pat Bryant, Marvin Mims, who's the number 2, he's projected for double-digit points in our leagues right now. Where we at with this receiving core? You know, I love me some Patrick Surtain. I say, what am I talking about? Right? I'm talking about
That's the DBs.
I know. I'm all Cortland Sutton. I love Surtain too, though. That's my dog too. But Cortland Sutton, man, being the number one on that team, I think he has the most unsexy name, right? Nobody wants this guy. Like Jacoby Myers, like a lot of these guys, Jawan Jennings, a lot of these guys we expect have a great season this year. I believe out of all those names I just mentioned, though, Cortland Sutton is the clear one over those guys in his offense. And there's no
The
debate.
question is who's number two? It's basically what it comes down to with Pat Bryant and Vele.
Oh, man, that's tough, Rob. I mean, I say this. I want to say Marvin Mims is the clear two because Sean Payton.
No. Oh, my God. He shouldn't even be in the discussion.
For us, but for Sean Payton, he's hyped up Marvin Mims, bro. He said he wants him to succeed, man. He want to see it.
He took fucking like 11 routes past the line of scrimmage, Fizz.
And it was like 8 touchdowns.
He's a gadget guy. He's a gadget. What'd you just say? Did you just say he scored 8 touchdowns?
No, I'm lying. But he scored on him though. He scored on at least like 4.
He did that like one time. All right. I want to just put in an executive order right now. I'm rolling in. We're not talking about Marvin Mims. He's not the wide receiver too. He is a gadget guy. He is just a full-time Deebo Samuel out of the backfield guy.
My boy say he loves some Marvin Mims, man. He said, please explain to the people the different positions in receiver before people keep saying the X and the Z's of the job, bro. So what even if you don't break down the X's and the O's and the Z's and the, what you hate on Marvin Mims? Because my boy Dunster said he rocking with Mims.
My hate on Marvin Mims is watch the player haters ball. You're going to get me all aggravated. So I go into like a whole 15, 20 minute thing about Marvin Mims not being a real wide receiver. He is, when you look up what gadget guy is, it's Marvin Mims. I think the real question is who is going to be the guy on most plays who is going to be lining up outside of Cortland Sutton, in those situations. Is it going to be Vele? Or is it going to be Pat Bryant, who they just spent, I believe, what was it, a 3rd or 4th round pick on him?
Yeah, I believe 4. I say this. We seen what Vele can do. And I don't mind Vele. He wasn't like the best, but he showed up at times, right? But I think Pat Bryant is just the new toy. He's the new name. He's the new, the guy that no one has seen do it yet. So I think the favor would be Pat Bryant. But I don't think Vele should be just wiped off the face of the earth either. So I really don't know.
He's like their version of a Coker because I think he was also an undrafted free agent.
Yeah. Oh, 7th round, something like that. It was real late though, super late. I'm gonna be honest, Rock. I don't know. I just want Cortland Sutton and everybody else is just,
Yeah. So I'm looking at both Pat Bryant and I'm looking at Vele right now. With Vele, he took most of his routes out of the slot, so 60.9% slot. Devon Vele only lined up out wide 26.9% or 29.6% of his snaps in the out wide.
Okay.
When it comes to success, Pat Bryant does not do very well with his lack of speed doing deep routes, Fizz. He only had 27.8% success, 9 route, 66.7% versus post. Those aren't very good. He does a lot better coming back to the ball. So his comeback and his curl, 100% and 80% respectively when it comes to that. He's also not very good at the slant, which is the reason why the Michael Thomas comparison crazy, right? It's the craziest thing. One of his worst routes was the slant at 55.6%. That is very bad. It is very, very bad for a slant route. He is not going to be a full-time X. I'm talking about Pat Bryant. Mm-hmm. So I think it could be like a 50-50 thing, Fizz, between him and Vele. I have to give it, though, I know people are really drafting Pat Bryant really high because of the situation, because of Bo Nix, because of Peyton. But if you look into the numbers and where he was last year, he did not rank very high for me as far as a wide receiver prospect, Fizz. He was kind of in the 20s. He's not that great. So I have to give it to Vele. I know that like he's just a nobody, undrafted, came out of nowhere. He's 28 years old, all this shit. But he played pretty solid last year for the Broncos. He's going into his second year with them. And I think he just does a lot of these things better than Pat Bryant. So,
well, I just say this, Rock, to kind of not go back on what you said, but I just think a lot of times when we look at numbers and how guys were in certain situations, you got coaches like Sean Payton that just bring out, they put players in positions to just everything that you knew before is just not the same. You know what I'm saying?
I'm still waiting on that for Marvin Mims.
Well, this year's coming, brother. You got to give some time, man. Hold up, man. One time for Rock and Marvin Mims, man. I ain't feeling it.
Oh man,
it's a whole lot. Whole lot of hate from Rock on Marvin Mims, man. We gonna close out on the Marvin.
Broke my heart. I used to love Marvin Mims.
And hey, Patty, we all trying to see what's up with Pat Bryant, man. But I think Sean Payton gonna figure it out because I trust my boy that wear them Jordan 11s every week, man. Because that's my favorite Jordan, man. So we gonna go to the Bears, then we gonna go to the Chiefs, Rock, and we gonna get up out of here. The Bears. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see what's good with them. They took Luther Burden, which was a surprise to me. After just going tight end in the first round at pick 10, I was one of my Cole Kmet shares, man. I was buying Cole Kmet. They broke my damn heart with this Coast and Loveland garbage, man. But it happens. You go out there, you got DJ Moore, who I think people, they kind of look at him like the old guy out. They kind of want him to get out. They want Rome to just take over that job. You got Rome, of course, like breakout season for him. You got Luther Burden, who just signed his guaranteed contract. We got any more other names we got to really worry about a receiver right now, to be honest? I think that's pretty much it, right? At receiving.
Keenan Allen isn't there anymore. So it's for this pecking order, it's Rome, it's Loveland, it's DJ Moore, and it's Luther Burden. Those are which order are we putting them in?
Yeah.
I think is the important question because all of these guys.
You got DeAndre Swift too, who's gonna catch passes. I mean, he's not a running back, but I mean a receiver.
Yeah.
He's gonna catch some passes, bro. So I can't even say is DJ Moore the clear pecking order guy. Like that's the real debate. That's why I think the Bears might be the closest one out of all of these teams, because I think on paper you would think it's DJ Moore, but I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I think of all these guys, I'd probably put him either third or fourth Fizz. I understand that he is the veteran of this whole bunch. He has the most experience. But when it comes to talent, and people want to bring up, so I heard this argument the other day that every room that DJ Moore has ever been in, he's been the alpha. But when has he ever had to go up against a top 10 drafted wide receiver? Same thing with the tight end, who might be the next freaking. People are comparing Loveland to the next Travis Kelce. He's one of the best tight end prospects we've probably seen in the last 5 years. So, and he was drafted very, very high.
You said one of the best. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, one of the best. So I think he might actually be in that same category with Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta had one of the best rookie tight end seasons of all time. Would you be surprised with Loveland, who I think is even better prospect than Laporta? I love Laporta. He was my number one tight end in that draft class. Would you be surprised, Fizz, of Loveland just absolutely demolishes, like a lot of different records outside of the ones that Brock Bowers broke? He's right there. He has one of all-time great seasons for a tight end, Fizz.
Well, Ben Johnson is in the building, man.
Exactly.
We love some Ben Johnson. So
I think it's the real question is who's going to be the number one? It's just like, is it going to be Rome Odunze, who we want to take a huge step forward? You've been saying it all season long. There's no hotter name in fantasy football than Rome Odunze.
Yeah.
So, because we expect him to be the recipient of a Caleb Williams huge step forward. We want him to be that number one QB that he was drafted to be. He has the coach. Who is he going to unlock? Is it going to be Rome? Is it going to be Loveland? And DJ Moore has never been in a room where he's had to go up against this much talent. Even Luther Burden, from just an athletic standpoint, is far better than DJ Moore is from an athletic perspective. So, and DJ Moore has only had one top 12 season. I don't think he'll ever have another one again. I think that was a crazy year that he had with Chicago and with Justin Fields, who made him a number one. He got luck. He just played the Commanders. That's all it was. He got like 50 points in that one game.
Sunday night game, too. Monday, one of them night games.
I'll never forget that one either. So he got like half his production basically in that one freaking game against the Commanders. But he had one good year, and he looked terrible last year. It was like his worst season ever. So I think Ben Johnson saw enough.
He looked mad the whole thing too. He was on the sideline pouting.
He was mad and he was bad, Fizz. That's what it was.
My boy dropping bars on me. Okay, bars, son. Okay, you got it on that one.
So who
go ahead.
Who do you think is going to be the guy that steps up, that surprises people the most? Is it going to be Rome? Is it going to be Loveland? Or is it going to be Burden? I think is what it honestly comes down to.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I think you're sleeping on DJ Moore a little bit, brother. I think you're sleeping on him, man. I think starting out is going to be DJ Moore. I think starting early is going to be DJ Moore, man. I think last year he didn't want to deal with Caleb, and it just felt like, because I think he really wanted Justin Fields. He fought for Justin Fields. He grew with Justin Fields, and when Caleb came in and things didn't change, he basically said, look, I told y'all, you should have kept this guy that was already here. We could have built something, but you brought him in, gave him all of this red carpet treatment, and we still ain't doing nothing. I think he held a grudge against his team last year, and he just didn't care. That's what I really think. He felt it came down to. DJ Moore just didn't care. He held a grudge that they got rid of the guy that he finally felt he could build with. And now you gave the red carpet to a guy that did absolutely nothing either. So I just think, man, we sleeping on DJ Moore a little bit, man. I think Maddie might be happy and proud of me for this one. But I think DJ Moore, to me, will at least start out as the number one. I'm not saying he's going to be the number one at the end, but I think he's going to be the most trusted one. I think the coach is going to come in and understand that he is the vet. He's been around the longest. He might catch the concept of, especially being with different quarterbacks, different offensive coordinator. DJ Moore done been through the ringer, bro, as far as a guy that probably shouldn't even be in the NFL right now, because every year he got a challenge, an uphill battle to learn the offense. So the fact that he's still in the league and looked at as not a top tier guy, but someone that we respect in the receiver room, I look at it as kudos to him, man, for still holding it down. And I just think this year Ben Johnson is going to at least salute that and say, you know what? You are the guy I'm going to need to lead us and show everybody else how it's done. Because Rome walked in last year with no guidance. He didn't have a coach that showed him nothing really. He was roaming around trying to figure out what the hell to do. So I like DJ Moore to kick it off, but I think Rome will pick it up. And if you ask me, at the end of the year, I'm going to go with Rome. But as far as who on a week-to-week basis I can give you, Rock, I don't know. I don't know, bro.
I think the only thing that Ben Johnson's going to show DJ Moore is the door in 2026. That's it. Man. That's why he drafted Luther Burden. He wants his next Amon-Ra St. Brown. He wants his next Sam Laporta. Both of them are fantastic prospects coming out. They're far more talented than DJ Moore.
Man. Hey.
I ain't feeling this hate you got in your
There's
blood,
too many cooks in the damn kitchen in Chicago. Get your ass out, DJ Moore.
It is, man. Chicago pieces are not being delivered by DJ Moore this year. Clearly, man. I don't know, Rock, man. I like DJ Moore, man. I just think he's a solid guy. He gets that Terry McLaurin treatment where nobody wants him, and every year you wish you had him.
No. He ain't nowhere close to Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is
I said treatment. Terry McLaurin treatment. A lot of people don't never want Terry until he show up and they like, damn, man, I should have just drafted him, man. So
I always just think of that clip when Steve Smith, he was looking at his fantasy lineup. He's like, should I draft you? And he's like, why? And then DJ Moore is just like, entire time. He was just like, man. He's like, yeah, too many damn drops. He had a 0. He had 1 week where he had a 0, and Steve Smith's like, don't get me another 0 again.
Yeah, man. DJ Moore, I don't know, man. So, I mean, we talked about the guys. We talked about the production. You even said that Coach and Loveland could be on a trajectory that breaks some records.
He's projected a ton of points by Vegas, Fizz. Like a ton of yards, like almost 700 yards for a rookie tight end. That is unheard of.
Well, I say this. I know Luther Burden is probably at the end of you. Well, you said DJ Moore. So I don't know. I'm gonna get your breakdown because you seem like to have a most hated going on up in your blood on this one, brother. I know you took some trip to Chicago. You know what the food is like. Let us know, one, what's your favorite dish in Chicago, and two, who you got in the pecking order at this receiver stepping up in this game, brother?
Best dish in Chicago is you go to Longman and Eagle. You will get the best breakfast of your life. They take their breakfast potatoes, Fizz. They cook them in the oven, so the inside is like a mashed potato. And then they fry the potatoes in beef tallow, so it's super crispy on the outside. By far the best breakfast potatoes I ever had, best chicken and waffles I ever had, best biscuits and gravy I ever had. Those are my favorite when it comes to dessert, Fizz. So Longman and Eagle, Logan Square. Make sure you guys go there. Oh my God, it just takes me back, Fizz. I went on a roll right there.
I was about to say that y'all noticed, right? When I talked about DJ Moore and the Bears, Rock was when I brought up food, this man in 5 seconds broke it down, gave us the GPS coordinates. This man here, man, is locked in the kitchen, baby. You know what I'm saying? When he talked football, he had to do a whole lot of this. When we talked about what's the best place, this man hit the dart on the red dot, man. It was no questions, no stuttering, no mumbling. He got it locked in, man.
And as far as the pecking order goes, the guy that is going to pay off the best, I think he's top 3 as far as Vegas projections for yards for a tight end, Loveland.
Okay.
I think Loveland's going to pay off his ADP the best. Rome Odunze, I'm hoping he pays off the best. He is the riskiest because he's the highest drafted of all these guys.
Yeah.
But he is an amazing prospect. So I'm going to go with Loveland to pay off ADP, then Rome, then Luther, then DJ. So.
Damn. That's wild, Rock. I ain't gonna lie, man. My boy here, he changing some narratives around here, man. I might got to change my draft strategy on these mocks we doing, bro. I don't think I got any Loveland.
Keenan Allen last year played better in a lot of weeks than DJ Moore, and he's like fucking 40 years old. He's not even on a team. So we're
damn, Rock, man. You got me over here. I ain't feeling it, man. Come on, man. I ain't feeling it, man. I'm ready to get up out of Chicago, man. We gonna roll with yours. I don't even want to say mine because you just kind of broke the record that Coastal and Loveland is the target one on this team in 2025. So we're gonna hold you to it, brother. We're gonna hold you to the love fire, baby.
It's a little bit spicy, but hey,
sometimes I like it though.
You gotta stand out, you know? Take a bet.
I like it. Well, we're gonna end up in Kansas City with the Chili Bowls, and we're going to figure, we're moving from Chicago pizza to Chili, man. We're going to see what's good in KC. Right now, we got the news about Rashee Rice. He is facing some type of suspension. We don't know, 2 to 4 games maybe. He's on probation. Hopefully, he doesn't mess that up and he gets everything right. Outside of that noise, we got Xavier Worthy, who should take a step up. That Super Bowl game, and we know it was garbage time. It was what it was. But he kind of let us know that, hey, I can play this game. And all that gadget and one catch and big play garbage y'all had me doing. When my number is called, I'm going to answer the phone. So Xavier Worthy definitely on the Jordan Addison, Devonta Smith, Zay Flowers. He's in that little mix. Got Rashee Rice going up there with the T. Higgins and a little bit around the Rome area in most drafts. And then right after that, you got a guy I still like. You got Hollywood Brown, man. I think Hollywood, them signing him this year, I think they owed him one, and he owed them one. You didn't play last year much. You got hurt. I'm not sure how you came in last year with Hollywood on the team, but I thought Hollywood could take a step with them, being a deep ball guy and getting a Pat Mahomes as his quarterback. So this year, I think I'm betting on Hollywood to have a bounce back season if he could stay healthy. You got Kelsey. And you got our guy, Noah Gray, who is going to surprise some people, man, on some weeks, man. So keep your eyes out on them. But ultimately, the guy who's going to lead it, which we're not talking quarterbacks, but I do want to bring up Pat Mahomes. Every week, Rock, so far, we talked about how he played down. He wasn't this. He wasn't that. And then we also say how if any other year Pat Mahomes is going to do it, I believe this is the year that he bounces back and say, shut all that noise up. His brother ain't been in the news. His wife ain't been. It's just been Pat Mahomes locking in on, let's get ready for football. I believe Pat is going to go out there and try to break a record or two. He's going to get back in that MVP. He saw Lamar Jackson should have won 3. His other counterpart, Josh Allen, just won 1. I just think Pat Mahomes is going to let the league know, y'all keep forgetting who I am, and I'm going to remind you. So I say all that to say these receivers will eat because of Pat Mahomes stepping it up. And a lot of people don't believe Pat is who he is, but we believe Pat is who he is. So pecking order, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, where we at and where you at with it today, Rock, before we close out, brother?
I think the real question is,
bro. And Jalen Royals too. I forgot about that, man. We got to add him in the mix too. Appreciate that alley-oop, Dustin.
He's he's the Rice. He's the second coming of Rice, basically what it is. He's very, very similar to him. They basically just drafted his backup in case he misses some games. I think the real question is, Fizz, how close is Worthy to Rice? Because we saw what Rice was able to do those first few weeks. He completely took over that offense. Travis Kelce didn't get shit during those first few games. I think he even just blanked on at least one of those games where he didn't get any catches, maybe even got 1 or 2 targets in those games. But he was a complete afterthought. He only was able to save his season last year's Fizz, I think, because Rice went down. And they had really no one else to go to because Hollywood also being hurt. They had to make the call for DeAndre Hopkins, save his ass from Tennessee, and then be like, all right, well, actually, we're not going to use you whatsoever. So that was kind of a huge waste of time. But then Worthy was still getting acclimated to the NFL. And here are some of the things that I think are the hard truths about Worthy and why I think it's, depending on his injury, maybe this is just a situation to actually stay completely away from when it comes to these receivers in Kansas City. Verse man, this is a Xavier Worthy, 20th percentile. Verse zone, 64th percentile. Verse press, 16th percentile. For all that speed that he has with his slight frame, he had one of the worst contested catch percentages last year of any wide receiver. It was let me see what it was. He was at 28.6%. So for a guy that really likes to operate deep, you need that to be a hell of a lot better. When it comes to just the 9 route and post route, they're average. When it comes to the out route, comeback and curl and slant, they're bad. They're very, very, they're well below average when it comes to wide receivers. So and with a guy that, is so limited in his route running, and it's the same thing with Rice too. I mean, Rice is also very limited in his route running, but if you're going to be pigeonholed, if Rice already operates with that area of the field, Worthy has to make do with what's left over. And I think that's the reason why, outside of a couple boom weeks at the end of the season last year, does he have the tools in his tool bag to succeed in the NFL at his current price? I still think I'm not so sure. I think we need to see a lot more from it. And even if Rice is unhealthy and all these other things, does he have what it takes to be successful in the NFL? He has the speed, but does he have the route running? Is he able to get past press, or is he just going to get manhandled at the catch point and at the line? That's the biggest reservation I have for him. The player I'm most excited for is Noah Gray, only because of what we've seen, what he was able to do with Travis Kelce when he had some of his off weeks. I think he's the next up-and-coming guy. We know the tight end in this offense can be really, really good. And I don't like receivers coming off major injuries with the idea of suspension as well, which is why Rice is coming down a little bit for me. But I heard a point last week, in the last week, where it's just like, if you need a guy who's going below ADP, where by the end of the season he can win you some weeks, it is Rice. So I'll take Rice over Worthy, and I definitely like Noah Gray. Is at the end of the day what I'm going with for Kansas City.
Okay, well, I say with the Worthy thing, though, I think a lot of this falls on Pat Mahomes last year, bro. He just didn't have the year that we expected him to have. And I think a lot of the numbers, when we look at him, is because of Pat Mahomes. I mean, I can't be in the top.
He was pretty bad with the deep ball last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, I can't be in the top percentile of anything if the quarterback ain't giving me the ball right where I need it. So I think And I think it was due process. I think looking at Xavier Worthy, when you look at his first game, he had like two touches of the ball and went 2 touchdowns, right? Boom. After that, it was like, oh, what's going on here? And I think a lot of it wasn't really efficient. It was, what do we do with this guy? Like, that's what it looked like to me. It looked like all season they were trying to figure out what to do with Worthy. They had a lot of plays where he's coming out of the backfield, and it's a bunch of Marvin Mimm like plays, right? This gadget, we got a fast guy. Let's figure it out and see what to do with him. I think by the time we reached the Super Bowl, they realized, okay, now we figured it out. So I'm not saying we scratched last year because that's hard to do, but Rice solidified that he is a target hog when he is in his right position. He made Travis Kelce obsolete across the middle. He was getting peppered with 10, 11, 12, 13 targets. Like, he was on the Keenan Allen tear with his targets. But I think Worthy this year, to me, Rock, he won't be a high target guy, but I think this year it's time to say, okay, we had a trial run. Now it's time to pay that monthly bill or weekly bill with Xavier Worthy. So I think I wouldn't trust what Worthy did last year to fall into this year. And I like his outlook way better in 2026 or 2025.
He's like a Zay Flowers for me, where
Exactly.
he's on a really good offense. He's on an offense where they're going to try to use him in as many creative ways as possible. He's perfect for best ball. So there's lots of things that are good about him. It's just that he's just not going to be a number one. I don't think that's in his range of outcomes.
Sure.
So people need to tone it down a little bit when it comes to that sort of hype, not overblow what he did at the end of last year. And but yeah, the unfortunate thing is, if Rice was not injured, I think he'd just be by far and away the best guy in this offense. But at ADP, I think he's still decent. But yeah, like I said, the guy I like the most is Noah Gray.
He'd be going the second round with the Londons and the lads and all them. He'd be going there.
Crazy.
If Rice didn't get hurt, he'd be going in that second round 100%.
Yeah, and that's just all because of just production and who he plays for.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with him as a receiver, though. Sure, I don't think he comes even close to any of those guys that are going second as far as a technician goes. But, well, Fizz, my voice is starting to get tired, and I just looked over. Holy shit, we're at 2:31 right now.
My boy Patty said, y'all really in the kitchen, man. It's a buffet today, baby. So, hey, the close out on this Kansas City thing, it's all going to come on Pat Mahomes. I do believe Rashee Rice, without injury, without the suspension, he will boost. Let's just say in 2026, he won't be going where he's going now. So if you get him for this price, I think a round earlier it might be where you can get him a little higher over the third round guys. I don't feel like going down the list. But anyway, the pecking order for me, I would still say without minus the suspension, I'm going Rashee Rice. I think you missed out Kelce, bro. You went Noah Gray over Kelce. It's kind of crazy, man. You got to give Kelce. It's a 1-year thing. He going out with a bang. Man, listen, man. He ain't going to let his girl go on a world tour and drop hits, and he ain't going to drop some hits on the people, brother. So I'm going with Kelce to step it up this year to close out a finishing top tight end career and to shut all the noise up, man. If he start the season off with a beard, it's going to be dangerous for the season. That's all I'm going to say, brother. You coming with the mustache, you might be light. So we'll see which one we get. Regardless, we glad we got my dog Kelce to be back with us this season. And maybe it's the last one. Maybe he got one more left. But anyway, don't make no difference, Rock. We held it down, brother. We paid the bills. The charcoal might be burnt out. I don't know if we got no more lighter fluid. Man, we cooked up today, brother. 2.5. And hey, man, we appreciate all the eyes, all the people that came through, man, because today was a good day, brother.
Yeah, it certainly was. We answered, I think, every single burning question that people have had during this offseason. We went through all the major camp battles that we're going to look forward to during this training camp. Hopefully not half of these guys we talked about get hurt during training camp and it's all a moot point. But there's always that risk. So make sure you guys are waiting until the last possible second to be doing your drafts to avoid those injuries. I usually like to wait until after the third preseason game, that week or two right before the season starts, Fizz. That's the prime time when we really do figure these things out. But right now, with some of these ones, these are the bets that we are willing to make today if you were drafting. So I think it was a great show, Fizz. Love the interaction that we had in the chat. Love the disagreement and the discourse that we were able to have to try to figure these things out. But overall, I'm very much looking forward to this upcoming season. I want more records to be broken. I want guys to be breaking out. I want the NFL just to go from here to here. So I think that's going to happen in 2025. So maybe we can get out on a word of wisdom, Fizz. I do have something prepared. So
there we go. There we go. I will say this to answer this question, Patty. I won't be at the doing the draft tonight, taking the family to the WNBA game, man. We're going to spend some good time together, bro. So I'm closing out with the ladies, shooting jumpers, no dunks, just layups and bricks, baby. So I'm going to check it out, though, Patty. I won't be there tonight. If somebody come in and want to do it, maybe. But I think Rocket said no.
It won't be me either.
If dollars ain't there, the bills ain't getting paid, brother. So next week, though, that's why we had it on Sunday. This to kind of hook it up. But, hey, we might pop out soon. We'll never know, man. But not tonight, my boy. I won't be there tonight, man. Go ahead, Rock. Get it cracking. Get it cracking. Let us know what's good. And I said cracking. Let me be quiet. Go ahead. Get it popping, baby. Let us know, brother.
All right. So for this week's word of wisdom, Fizz, I love learning. I love growth, challenging myself, and stepping into the unknown, Fizz. But once you figure out what's most important in life, I think a lot can be said with focusing on mastering what you already have and less time going after the new exciting thing, Fizz. And that all came about just from a conversation we had the other day. I was getting at the gym, I was breathing heavily, and I was just thinking about, like, man, let's just worry about what we already have at home instead of always trying to go out and get that next best thing, Fizz. So
for sure. Hey, that's a wise guy right here, man. You ain't a wise guy, but you're a wise guy, brother. All right, so let's get up out of here, Rock. Close the kitchen, turn the lights out, man, and lock the doors, brother. Next week, baby.